Welcome to the Off the Road Again podcast. I'm Chris.
Ross.
Hi. I just wanted to throw that off. My name's Jeff.
So you normally throw the rhythm off there. Like everybody else is like, it is funny how like the number of times people had to go like, wait, what's my name? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I reminded you we were going to approach this. Anyway.
No, I do it. I know how it's supposed to go and I could easily do it, but I choose not to.
Correct.
Yeah.
I believe they call that antisocial? No. Oppositional defiant. Oppositional defiant is what actually the anyway, this is our podcast about anything and everything off-road. We're gonna talk about behavior modification tonight. No, that's not true.
Oh, God. It's the first on the show.
Actually not. We've talked about it quite a bit.
Oh shit.
You just haven't realized that we talked about it, Ross.
Yeah. You've been molded.
Goddamn.
I edit the show. I can make your behavior be whatever I want it to.
You really do. That's dangerous.
Yeah. This is our podcast about anything and everything off-road. This is normally how an episode with Jeff goes. We just don't care because it's someone we know. So like way all pretense of an actual like production. My glasses have fog now. We're great. As always, we're socially distant. We're back to all of the time zones. Sorry, Mountain. Ross is in the Northeast. I'm in the Midwest. And Jeff is in California, back in California. Sweet.
For a few days.
Until you fly out for something fun.
Yeah, vacation again.
Goddamn.
I didn't see that.
It's just how they lined up. It wasn't planned. We booked a trip. We got this crazy deal on a trip to Hawaii during COVID, which we leave on the 9th for. And then my wife's sales meeting was originally like January, February, and got pushed to last week, which was also in Hawaii.
So you're going right back.
You couldn't have just stayed for 4 days.
No, everybody says that. Everybody says that, but like we can't. I mean, you can't just stay, because it's so expensive. And then we were in Maui without our kid, and then we're going to Kauai with our kid.
That's why my question was to be like, is at least a different island this time? Like,
yes,
okay.
Very totally different. Like last week wasn't vacation for my wife; it was her sales meeting. I mean, it was still like nice to be in Maui and drinking too much, eating too much, as you do. But next week is vacation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll be calmer.
Yes. I mean, I had fun. I was on vacation, so.
I've never been on one of those spouse trips. Normally when I go on those, it's like, hey, we're going to a wedding and you're going to work the wedding with me. And I'm like, okay.
Well, the fun thing is they announced, not to totally derail off the cars, they at the sales meeting, they announced, they give the incentive for next year's award trip or whatever it is. Not award trip. It's still a sales meeting. Award trips are different. And if they like hit a baseline number, it's in Sedona. If they hit just above that, it's in Sedona with spouses or significant others or whoever, which actually sounds really cool because that's like a mountain bike mecca is Sedona. Amazing shit.
I'll meet you there.
But then they throw up a slide. If we hit these numbers, it's in Turks and Caicos.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll be going to Turks and Caicos next year.
Okay, well, that wouldn't suck.
Yeah. Though on the flip side, I kind of want to go to Sedona.
Dude, you can swing Sedona on a long weekend.
No, I'd much rather go to Turks and Caicos.
Exactly. Free trip.
It's not even close. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of close.
No. Best. It's so good. Was it Throttle House, the guys that were on Smoking Tire, and they're like Canadian, and they were like, can't I just buy a Caribbean island?
Oh my God.
And like install Canadian government in the Caribbean island?
After I heard that, I said that to Sam. I was like, Canada needs to just purchase.
It's all I've thought about.
Like
I just had to have knee surgery. I'm like, it would have been so much better at the Canadian Caribbean island to have my knee surgery. Like it was just,
yeah. We'd be Canadian residents, all driving like R34s and shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But it's funny because one of my friends and my video partner for AutoTrader stuff, he's planning on moving to Texas, and they have an easier way to get JDM cars there for some reason. Like in Texas, you can just kind of get them.
Is that one of the things where we saw the Jimny? There was a Suzuki Jimny that got imported and was kind of sold, but kind of not being sold.
Yeah, there was one at a dealer where they weren't saying how they were gonna, get it out, and but usually if you see a Jimny in the States, it's from Mexico. But But there's something he said. He was just cruising around and he saw like a bunch of JDM shit, and the prices weren't crazy because there was a handful of people selling them rather than living in an area of the country. And it was easy, like you could just register it. Like like the 25-year rule still counts because that's a federal thing.
Right.
But the small, like none of that. It was like as long as it's 25 years old, you can just do it.
It's Texas.
Yeah.
Such
the
a weird
opposite.
place.
Opposite of Maine, with what Maine was doing with all the Delicas.
Yeah, they tried to fuck everyone with a Delica and stuff, right? I don't know if did that go through.
I don't
think it
know, but
Yeah,
it was weird. They like singled out Delica owners.
They
It wasn't like,
deregistered them.
I know.
yeah,
Like Toyota Hiace owners are like,
yeah.
like,
Toyota Hiace owners are like, okay,
quick
cash out. Yeah,
Stash it in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Or
bring a
Maine, yeah.
trailer.com. Okay. So, anyways, let's do the news real quick because it's not that exciting, even though there's some particularly strange stuff to discuss.
Which one do you want to start with?
Let's start with this camper. So, stumbled upon this on MotorTrend. It is called the Texano Atrium camper. It's a prototype. It's very much a render. It's built on, it looks like
Is it a render?
ProMaster chassis.
Because
The
in
Ron,
picture-
I don't think it's a render.
one of the
lead
photos
pictures-
they're building frame.
Yeah, but the lead picture certainly looks like a render.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it's not, I'm impressed.
So I think the the two photos are definitely renders, but the other photos lead me to believe like they're building it.
They're really building the thing. So for the audio listeners, this is something that's actually worth checking out. It looks like a fishbowl or
On the back.
some kind of aquatic type thing on the back. It's
It almost has like a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea vibe at the back too.
oh, it definitely does. It's what's
That
what's
Max
like-
Tracks is funny on the side.
the backtrack mounting is actually pretty intelligent.
Yeah, it is. I'm surprised it's not orange though, because it's like it's supposed to be like a look at me, look what I got, you know.
Yeah, but
So the back
this
of it feels
skylights
like
are
you're
nice.
sitting in an aquarium with skylights. Yeah.
it is. What is it like retro futurism, the stuff from the 1950s? Like
This
the
is
Chevy-
kind of retro futuristic, yes.
what was
This
what
is
was
in Glucker's wheelhouse.
GM?
He's got an artist for this. What's that guy's name?
Sid Mead?
Yeah.
Sid Mead. We
Yeah,
always
yeah.
talk. This is
Exactly.
probably
No,
not the first time we've referenced him on the show. Like
That
Universe
poster,
Express.
you can't see it good. You can see the picture of the airplane, but then next to it is a poster from the Glenmore, no, not Glenmore, the Art Center Classic or whatever, and that is it was designed by Sid Mead and it's signed by him
That's awesome.
right before he died.
Oh, well, hang on to that one. But what was that?
So, Jeff, I made your video super huge on my screen, so hopefully they got a shot of that.
Oh, that's funny.
Back
Was
there.
that
one.
Autorama,
Oh, the GM thing.
the GM thing where everything was like rockets and
Yeah.
this looks like if they decided to go underwater instead of into outer space.
Yeah. It's a little softer than full on from that era. It's close. It's very close to that. That's a good call. It's the Mercedes front end throws it off, and so does
Yeah.
the Max Tracks. even though those are two good things to have on there. It's the price on it. I didn't dig into the article, but if they actually built it, it's gonna because like think about how much
That's
like
gotta
a
be.
regular
Oh yeah,
Sprinter van done up by a company is. As
it's a
Chris knows very
$500,000
well.
commission.
mine is not that much, but yes,
Right.
they're up.
But like
there.
the Airstream one, starts at like 215.
250.
So this would be,
Anything.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, this one starts at $900,000. Like, just like some bonkers number.
Yeah, I think it would probably be like a $500,000 commission. You know,
Because
your own
because
front.
there are, what's the dude, actually Matt from Max Tracks owns one. What's the fuck is the awesome overland vehicle, like the ultimate one?
The
that,
Earth Roamer.
Earth Roamer.
yeah, he has an Earth Roamer,
Those are
and they make-
500K.
Yeah,
but they make a version that's 1.5.
Yeah, exactly.
so new.
I think it's the LTV or some shit. I don't know.
It's the heavy duty one. It's like the you're right. It's like the LTV HD or something.
It's heavy
like
duty,
that.
but I think they offset it by some of the body panels are carbon fiber.
That's why it's 1.5 mil. That's crazy. But
They
this thing
still will
finally
come talk
runs.
to us.
So-
I'll keep sending
Oh, I
messages.
know.
We're good.
Let's just-
I'll hit him up. I'll
Okay.
get Matt on here. Fucking Matt. Come on,
I'll take
Matt.
Matt. Yeah, I'll talk to Matt about this truck
Please.
the whole time.
And you should
Please,
get
please.
Caleb on is another good person you should get on. Caleb works for Matt and he's a Montero owner.
Is that Caleb Wallace?
Caleb Wallace, yes.
Damn.
Oh, I know that name.
Instagram sometimes collides together of just
Of
like,
course.
It's not people I know, but I see them comment on other people that I know things enough to be like, I bet they're connected somehow.
Right. Yeah. No, I had a guy reach out to me about a PR thing, which is on the list to talk about a little bit. But he's like, oh, I don't know if you know, you should reach out and talk to Caleb Wallace. He's in the Montero community. I'm like, my friend, I know pretty much everyone in the Montero community. It is tight-knit and very friendly.
But you
Did
don't
you
know
know
Brett because he's
Brett?
East Coast Montero,
Yeah.
which is the one we posted the other day. And you were like, that's
Oh,
amazing.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this Montero's awesome.
That's
Yeah, I
the
don't-
guy who owns the shop that did the work on the Lexus. And
okay.
his truck is rad as hell.
So the
It's
next time
so,
you're stuck
so,
in
so
Queens,
Yeah. Well,
Brett
there's
shops
another,
the story.
there's
Yes.
another dude in New York who also has a Montero.
good.
Because that one I already followed, and it's
Did
not.
you just say who? Like,
Who?
like one guy out of New York.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Who's
I'm
that?
trying to do the accent. Who?
Also,
Who is it?
Collins. I just realized Collins moved back to New York. So we
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
get him back on the show.
Yeah, he's been back for a
He's-
bit.
He's like,
Yeah. And he
45
just
minutes
pulled his Montero out. He's like finally driving it
Oh.
again.
He posted pictures of his dog in the town where I went to college.
Oh
and
yeah, because
still,
he just got the dog.
still kind of also do go to college. So
Yeah.
gotta get it back.
Let's
Anyways,
cycle through.
yeah.
Sorry.
Um,
I'm gonna force you guys to do a full, just a month of Montero owners.
I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
opposed to that. Like,
Just talk shit on Toyota owners the whole
yeah,
time.
right.
well, like,
We should get like the Mitsubishi versus Toyota throwdown. Get like you, Collins, Lynn, Brett, just like
I mean, I can name like 15 more.
Jesus, like,
And then
what are we bringing from
yeah.
the Toyota side?
I mean,
'Cause, like,
even
my
Aaron
Sequoia
Robinson,
is it. Yeah.
Robinson, amazing
Yeah.
journalist,
Yeah.
has one. But yeah, there's a bunch. But though there are people who there are a few people I know who made the move to Toyota Lexus stuff, which is interesting to see.
Which is Ross.
I never had a Montero.
Right, missing out.
Right. But
Maybe someday. Find a 2-door with a stick, and then we'll talk.
all right, let's talk about this AEV thing.
Okay, AEV. We're talking about it because it's the thing to talk about, and everything AEV does is amazing. So they have shown their 2022 Gliding Wranglers. Everything you expect it to be is what it is. So
Those wheels are dope.
I
the
freaking
wheels are
love the wheels.
paint matched to the green on the Gladiator, which is
So,
amazing. I think
I
those
love-
are the Saltas.
I love the. I actually don't. I think it's neat that they're paint matched. I wouldn't do it for mine, but I just love the design of them.
I
Yeah.
think that's the. Let's see. It says.
And knowing this is AAV, those are probably 40s.
Oh, probably like minimal lift, like low center of gravity, and the biggest tire they can fit without
Yeah.
rub is the AEV way, which is the best
My-
way to build.
My buddy just got his Prospector. This is like his second or third Prospector.
Is it a 37, a 40, or a 42?
I think it's a
Prospector?
40.
Fuck.
And I think he already has the camper in the back too. And
That's
he got it in
amazing.
the silver color, which they all have names. All these AEV guys are like, you getting like they know all the color code. They're like, are you getting blah 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 or palmetto red or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Because the red one's real popular.
Is
He
this
got
AJ?
silver. Photo runner on Instagram.
Oh
If you
no,
want to
Yeah.
follow. Okay.
I,
AJ.
I'm there. I was just
Yeah.
making sure I was about to share the correct
Yeah.
friend.
No, it's AJ. Yeah. He's also a really good photographer. I'm pretty sure he already has the bed in the back though.
That's
on
a
there. Sean
killer
commenting
looking
on it
truck.
too. That's funny.
Man, honestly, there's an AEV Bison, a Colorado ZR2 with AEV stuff.
Oh,
on
yeah,
it
yeah,
that
yeah.
runs around in Stanford. near me, and I see it all the
3,500.
time, and it looks awesome. Like they just make such a nice kit.
Yeah.
Um,
It's funny because like in the face of it, everybody's like, "Oh, Jeep's gonna make a truck. I wonder if that's gonna mess up AEV's business." And they were like, "No,
They're not the same cars.
we're,
Yeah,
we're churning out more than ever."
I think it's different. A
That's
different.
how big it is. It's
That's
so
crazy.
big.
There's so much suspension on that thing. It's so.
Oh, is this another AJ video? That's funny.
Yeah, it's the only one I could find with the 40
Oh, it's an
camper in the back of it.
FWC.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
it's a Hawk.
It's a nice way to spend 150 grand.
I
Yeah,
like just-
I gave him shit. Actually, you can see my comment actually
Yeah.
in this screenshot.
I couldn't see the badge.
Yeah, it's so big.
That's
it's
funny.
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but you know what? They can post it. So it's 37s on the Gladiator.
oh yeah, okay.
And it doesn't say on the Rubicon that they released for 2022, but presumably the same thing. Mud terrains on the Gladiator, all terrains on the Rubicon. And yeah, they continue to, build and sell the turnkey kind of stuff that all of us would probably.
All right. We should have guessed that from the fucking name, the JT370.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been.
Yep, that's a clue. Also, it's available for $85,000, which actually, if you buy a Rubicon
65
and then you plan to modify it, that's, as much as it hurts me to say this, that's not that crazy at all. Because there's not going to be a markup on these.
Dude,
that's
okay,
the price.
Here's the math. 60, let's call it 60 for a Gladiator Rubicon,
Yeah.
the way that these are going to be outfitted. Steel front bumper, $1,500. 2-inch spacer lift and 2.5-inch suspension lift. So that's another couple grand. 37
winch,
cam,
the Warren winch. It's like a great winch.
Yes, can confirm. 37-inch cam 3 is probably $2,000 or so. Evo 10S is like $1,300. 7,000 series LEDs, and then spare tire carrier.
Yep. No, it adds up. It adds up.
And I think they carry a factory, or at least like a supplementary.
Yeah.
Their own.
Right.
So, $80,000 or $85,000 is crazy, but well, that's the world we're in.
Well, the regular Wrangler is only $79,900 from them. Like that's.
I would take the Rubicon lettering off the hood just to separate it a bit, because I would actually pull all badges off it just because I like debadged things and leave like one AEV badge in the back, and that's it. But the green paint is dope, especially with the black stripe across the tailgate. And it's a tough looking truck. Yeah. Oh yeah. Paint match fenders for sure.
Yeah. I saw recently, somebody did the first bobbed the bed of a Gladiator, chopped the bed to end where the fender flares end.
So here?
Yeah. And every time I was like, well, why didn't you just buy a Wrangler?
Yeah. Why would they do that? For departure angle?
For departure angle.
That's it?
And that's really it. And you have a horrible breakover on these things, unless if you do 37 more. So
like the approach and departure on a Gladiator aren't its weaknesses. It's literally the middle.
I think it was probably like a salvage truck or a truck that had the bed crashed.
I would have been more impressed if they converted it to a 2-door. Now that would be sick.
That would be rad. Like waiting for
bobbing the bed is stupid.
It must have been a crash truck.
Then I can get along with that. Yeah.
So something that's already disposable, who cares? But don't ruin a good one. Not that but
anyways,
I still think it's hilarious that whatever it is about the Gladiator, 37s look smallish, and they don't look good with the stock size tires. You have to take it to at least 35s.
You can fit 35s.
That has a lift though. The truck in that photo has a lift, so you got to factor that.
Okay.
35s
don't bring logic into it.
37s fit with the 2-inch lift.
Because
things.
What was it? I had the Raptor I had. Fuck, did that have the 37s?
Did it have a 37 badge on it? Because that's it did then. Yeah.
Yes, because I was making fun of the badge. Right. Because
I had the QR
Dan Edmonds and I, who have you had him on?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
twice.
Okay.
I think this is 2 shows in a row referencing him.
We both had Raptors. He's like, let's go into the hills. I was like, okay, absolutely. And his didn't have it, so it was, kind of nice to have both trucks out there. And we're not going to notice a fucking difference in the shit we're doing. 30, it's crazy though. 37, I'm comfortable running up the trails in my Montero in nearly 31s, but they're KO2s, so I trust the sidewalls and stuff. So I actively try to look where I'm putting my tires, but I'm not stressing about it. On the 37s on the Raptor, it's almost like you aim for shit and it doesn't matter. It's just such an amount of tire, and it's absolutely insane that exists on a truck. And I because nobody's announced 40s yet, but there's an arms race. Raptor R might be available with 40s, which would be just wicked. It's too much.
I mean, you want to hedge bets? You think it's this calendar year or next calendar year where we see 39s or 40s?
I think they would jump straight to 40s.
Yeah. I mean, the price difference between 39s and 40s can be.
I thought there was going to be a huge weight penalty on the 37s, and the difference between the 37s and the 35s is like not that much.
Are they the
I was
same
actually
load
really
rating?
surprised.
Are they both like C-rated tires?
I don't remember, but I was just shocked because I'm like, oh, you're gonna be taking a major weight hit for these, and it was like, nope, it's just a couple pounds a corner. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, okay,
37's a shit ton of tire.
it's so much tire.
And they're KO2s. So like, you're so
It's the best.
so delightful. We put them on transits.
I like that one. Nice. So, all right, let's move on from the land of AEV
and right back into Raptor.
Right back into Raptor. Here we are talking about Raptor again, and so everybody knows that the Hummer EVs, GMC Hummer EVs, party trick is the crab walk. Supposedly, Ford is working on some kind of further iteration of this that allows tires to point in or point away from each other at both front and rear, which I have a hard time seeing exactly what the benefit of this is.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So, yeah, I mean,
I've been staring at these and I don't know.
It's troubling because
I mean, there's got to be a reason.
The only conceivable thing that I can even wrap my mind around here is now just doing it to be able to say that it can do it. Like, I mean, we all spend a fair amount of time in the car world, in the off-road world, and the three of us are struggling to come up with any kind of rationale where this would be helpful.
So it says,
it looks like they're trying
one
to
of the
do
things it wants to do is turn the front wheels to the left or right while turning the rear wheels in the opposite, and then drive two axles toward each other. In this way, they can move left or right on a loose surface without moving forward or backwards like an omnidirectional forklift. So I get the idea of why that would be great. I just don't understand how it works in the patents, but it seems like seems like they're really working on a whole lot of shit.
It looks like they're trying to combine crab walk, tank turn, trail turn assist all into the same system and be able to do everything.
Which feature does it have?
Weird.
Yes.
That's
right.
The trail turn assist stuff that I played with was great on the Bronco.
Trail turn's cool. Yeah.
Like that was handy.
The Broncos trail turn.
Cinematic sun coming, like
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams up in my garage right now.
Can I get a Star Trek theme playing real quick?
Fuck.
Quick, throw a kid up.
Great. It's
Turn
we're past
it on.
super
I still
eight.
need
It's
the fucking ring light.
Super Jeff.
I need a fill. I need a key. I need a.
Oh my god.
Get your
Hey,
best
I'm
boy
California.
on it. It'll be fine.
A best boy.
I
Well, my
I just love the title. Like I think it's hilarious.
Anyways, credit where credit's due. This article is The Drive, and it's from our friend Peter. So if you want to be as confused as we are, check it out.
Yeah, email Peter.
Email Peter and say, Peter, what the actual fuck?
It literally Peter at thedrive.com.
I read every word of this fucking article, and I still have no clue what this means.
Documents.
So, anyways, let's move on. So the only thing I have on my plate, and I just moved a note to be discussed later. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with the spare tire for the Lexus.
Oh yeah. I told my wife this story about the price you got
For a
quoted.
rear bumper.
God damn, dude.
So stupid.
And like,
Not even talking about shipping, just the part.
shipping was $1,200.
How
Right.
nice of a used Miata could you get for the price of this rear bumper?
You get a good car.
Pretty
Yeah,
good
like that's-
vehicle. Yeah. So I am.
You could buy a
currently-
parts truck.
Dude, oh my god, you can't buy.
You could buy multiple
The
bumpers.
dollar figure was not insulting, but for a person in a much different demographic, a person who purchased a new Lexus GX, not the 5-year-old one.
Well, because I know it's expensive for the Toyota people too. Like it's not just because it's the Lexus, because it's the same fucking mounting points. I've been with Land Cruiser people, and when they see like an 80 or a 100 with the the spare on the door, they're like, oh shit, because that was a JDM only thing and it's expensive, and I think that's not even the swing out kind. That's like a JDM on the rear door thing or something like that. Every time I see it, I know I'm like, oh, fancy.
The thing that kind of sucks is that in Australia and all of the other markets where it's sold as the Land Cruiser Prado, the rear door has the spare tire carrier.
Yep.
You know, but importing one and then mating it up is like better part $3,000, which is below what you were quoted. It is. But then it's like, there's arguments about whether you can fit 33 happily and healthily in there. So,
but then you get to throw like Australia stickers on your truck and be like, oh, did you go to Australia? You're like, that piece did.
I already have half the parts of my truck are Australian. So.
Okay. I had a guy look at I was at a Starbucks and I had my Montero and I came out and he was in like a nothing car. He leaned out, I was like, oh, you've been to Australia? I was like, what? I looked and I have a sticker on the side from the wonderful 4x4 people. That's like, it's like a wins classic Pajero race, 1,000 kilometers, blah, blah, blah. And it's a map of Australia. I was like, oh shit. Right. No, I'm a poser. And I just thought the sticker was cool. Yeah. That one, V2 Pajero. That's
should be like, yes, I was there yesterday.
That sticker. Yeah. And the guy's like, oh, and then the guy's like, oh, I used to do a lot of off-road driving. Have you done Mojave? And like, he's in like a nothing car waiting for his wife to come out of Starbucks. And I'm like, no, but please go on. I will stay here and listen to what you have to say. Absolutely. And I was like, okay. But now I feel like a dick for that sticker, but still. The funny thing is there's a sticker on the back of this truck that the 4x4 people were kind enough to send me a replacement for. And I actually have it right here on my desk, which is good timing. I forgot 4x4, wonderful, wonderful, awesome people. So I bought this sticker originally from 4x4. I forgot that it was an original sticker from maybe it's like 30 years old or something like that.
Oh my God.
So I put it on my desk. I have a bunch of random stickers on my desk from tons of shit. I mean, I get, headlights for the Jag, this 4x4 one, like Porsche, Porsche
go back.
People.
That smiley face 4x4 sticker is amazing.
It's clear too, actually.
Really?
So just the fours and the smiley face are what go to the truck.
How do we procure some of those?
I have 2 on my desk and I will send them to you.
Fuck yes.
So I forgot that I bought the original and I put it on my truck. And these aren't, back in the day, they didn't make stickers to last. So it is destroyed. There's like this much left of it. And it was an original Dakar sticker. And because they commented on Instagram, they're like, man, we're saying it's so awesome. You're so brave to like actually run that sticker. And I was like, yo, real talk. Forgot I bought an original sticker. So I probably paid like $60 for the fucking sticker.
Oh my God.
And I was going to like put it, on my cabinets or something, or put it in plastic and save it. I don't know. Right. But I totally fucked up.
That was an investment.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. You got this story out of it.
Yes.
Can we go, Chris?
So.
Do me a favor, pull up the side of the Montero again.
Okay.
I just want to revisit this picture because I think this is the first time I've noticed that is one of the strangest mirror mounting places of all time.
So they make a taller mount where it grabs higher up on the A-pillar and it is more like a truck style mirror. And I can find those for sale online. I just don't want to fill in the bolt holes on the door. So I think the mirror is more forward and like more like where that silver piece is on the quarter mirror. I think it's somewhere around there, and it's a taller like truck style mirror. And I would love to have those, but I don't want to fill in those holes.
So for the audio listener, the mirror has 2 mounting points attached to a bracket, the side mirror, and it's like kind of halfway in the middle of the door, front to back.
It does look weird that it's in the middle of the door, but that's factory. But I wonder if the lower mounting holes might be there on the mirror I'm talking about, and the uppers might be the rain gutter. Now that I'm thinking about it, which makes sense, so that they wouldn't be doing, multiple mirror locations, and then I would only have to fill the lowers. But I don't don't want to.
Yeah, even so, that
It
is
still looks like the bolt should go into your window as you.
It's
roll your
great
windows
now
down.
that I think I've never noticed how weird it is that the mirror is basically in the middle of the fucking door.
Yeah. It's just hanging out there. We're so used to seeing them just mounted to like where the A-pillar and the door meet.
That's gonna bother the shit
But-
out of me. Thank you.
Thanks, Cross.
I can't unsee it. Sorry. Sorry
No,
if I
I get it.
ruined
I get
the
it.
door for you.
The 4x4 people also sent me this, which is a recreation sticker, thankfully.
That's awesome.
And then also a recreation sticker. And then this is them 4x4.
And now they need to send you a sticker that says "Can't be trusted with original stickers."
They know. That's why they know. So, and they are awesome people.
All right, I think I
Good
found
stuff.
the taller mirror.
We gotta grab them and pull them into a show sometime.
Oh, it's two of them. They'd be awesome. Two dudes from Portland.
Do it.
Oh yeah, see, it is the uppers, and it goes to the top of the quarter mirror. It looks like
That
it is the uppers, and you can actually see the lower
great.
bolt holes
I
where the
was
lower
saying-
mirror is.
It looked like their solution was just
Yeah.
to leave the lower bolt holes in there.
Yep.
Yep,
Just
and
film
that's
it.
actually.
Also,
Oh, this was the one that was for sale.
Yeah,
that is
it
a
is.
fucking awesome truck.
It
Holy
is because
hell.
but I think
That's
he
perfect.
wanted and maybe even got like a too much. But I love the wheels. You
Yeah.
know, the like almost like the
Steelies.
NATO gray steelies. Yeah, that is a sharp looking truck. I wouldn't do those headlights, but everything else is excellent. The red paint is gorgeous.
Oh, I hadn't noticed the headlights.
Yeah.
Let's pretend those headlights are not on that vehicle.
And the grill's in great shape, and
It's
Yeah.
a clean rig.
it's a nice. Love that he threw the historical plates on it too. But those are the other mirrors.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
make
Does,
way
do
more
they
sense.
go up and down on that pole? It looks like they do.
It looks like they do. I have no idea. And now that I'm looking at them, and you guys are making me want them, so fuck you. I've actually
Welcome.
always wanted them. I just didn't want to deal with those lower bolt holes.
But it,
Bolts.
it
I mean,
doesn't
it
look
could
that
be-
bad if you just like
Just
paint them black and screw them in. Like
If
or
I-
just get some paint and color match it. Just spray
I was
it
gonna
some
say,
color.
if I figure out the color code, and it could be like the easiest little bit of like Bondo practice and just fill in, it could be a little bit. It could be a DIY video. So maybe.
it could be Lowe's spray paint or brown spray paint.
Yeah. No, that's a nice truck.
That
I've
is
seen
a
that
very
truck
nice
before.
Great color.
No one's gonna notice. They'll be fine.
I was actually thinking about wrapping mine, so that would.
Oh,
It's an
like
idea
a livery?
because I don't. No. No livery.
Okay.
No, just because I don't want to repaint it because I love the original paint. But I was thinking it'd be really cool to do like a dark green with a white roof wrapped.
Okay. White roof is always good.
Yeah,
Less heat.
Yep.
I would have to change the wheels though.
Ooh, what if I wrap my roof?
I know people for that.
If I wrap the
We used to.
Lexus roof white,
I
would
still
it
do.
just look like
We
an
sold the
FJ
company
Cruiser?
at that.
If you did what now with the roof?
If I wrap the Lexus roof white, would it just look like an FJ?
No. Your body
I
style is
don't know.
so different.
It might look cool. I haven't seen it, so you could be a trendsetter.
That would be the first time in my life I could claim that.
And it's cheaper to wrap just the roof than it is the rest of the truck.
This
Correct.
is true. Maybe I'll try it myself. Definitely not. That goes.
I found
one
a
of-
blue
Yeah,
one.
because
with
if
a
you
white
if you
goes
messed
one
up
of one ways.
if you messed up the roof, it's not that big a deal.
Well,
So
like
that's not a bad idea.
I like this idea. My entire truck's white, so it's an awful idea for me. So 'cause
Yeah.
I have to then wrap the expensive part beneath. Like
Uh-huh.
It's funny. I look at these trucks and I always think about like what mine's missing, and
Dude, that's the freaking nature of being in this world.
yeah, it's
You
like the mirror trim is so much nicer looking than mine. I want to like spray mine to get it darker again, and I
What
don't
about
have that
this?
lower side molding. No, like the whole mirror surrounds.
Mhm.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
yeah, the window, the mirror thing too, but the window surround. Sorry,
Yes.
his bumper does the same shit as mine though. See the end
Sad.
cap, how it's set. Mine does that
Yeah.
too, and it drives me nuts. Oh, but his turn signals are solid, so that's aftermarket because I don't think the U.S. ones were aftermarket or solid.
This is such a slippery slope.
Yes, it is. I
Oh,
could
man.
stare at this truck and point it out because he has his factory mud guards still, which are hard to find. He clearly has his factory skid plate still, which is impossible because people, when they changed the oils on these, realized how heavy they were and didn't put them back on.
They just left them
That's-
in garages.
Yeah.
Oh,
Goddamn.
Which is why
What?
I'm happy with my little bent piece of aluminum that looks fine and is like a few bolts and it weighs nothing.
dude, I need a bent piece of aluminum. I cannot find a skid plate for the Suburban.
That's a
Like-
great title for the episode. I need a bent piece of aluminum.
Right.
Ron, find me some aluminum.
Yeah. You need somebody local with a torch.
I know a guy.
Well, make it happen. Anyways, that was a tangent and a half from Lexus spare tire. Yeah, shake weight.
Brought it around to Montero's, baby.
At the center of the off-road world, it always comes back to Montero's.
Well, that's like, you should say knowing a guy with a cutter. Like, I know a guy with a water jet now and a CNC machine. So like in time, like, well,
It's easy.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
So you could like have him water jet something horribly inappropriate into your skid plate,
Probably.
or like our podcast logo.
That seems too
he's like,
normal.
nah.
Like it's not.
It's like
That's like anytime, like when I first got Hooniverse stickers, like when we first started the site, I would put on something like, hell yeah. Now I'm like, nah, maybe not. That's like on the Jag, I put a white one on at first. I was like, nope, scraped it off. Like, put a black one on against the black car. That's much better.
I think I've had Hoover stickers on 2 or 3 cars now, but I haven't put any stickers other than I have one podcast sticker on the Suburban. That's it. Like it just kind of got slower.
Stickers.
Nice.
I got these ones from Mr. Ross Ballot. I'm going to call you Ballot. I'm going to pretend it's French. Ross Ballot.
And so many people do that.
Oh, Mr. Ballot.
So,
Oh my God.
I do have a story that I think is appropriate to Hooniverse.
Yes.
So, new boss, talking with him.
Same as the old boss.
Yeah, definitely not the same as the old boss. Because we started to discuss Ladanivas the other day.
Oh, sweet.
And he was like,
that's the fucking center of the off-road world.
He was like, how do I get one?
Well,
I
I know
like,
a guy.
We know a guy.
I was like, not only do I know websites for you to look at, but then like I know a guy who can get us parts. Like we can make this happen. And then I was like, what about a UAZ 452? Like what else can we add here?
Yeah, we theoretically have a connect.
So here's how this happens. Between now and April 13th, we find one that we want to purchase. I put a bunch of beer and Camille at the auto show.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah.
We make the purchase go through. And then we have like, gosh.
I mean, it's definitely possible.
It just depends on which country we want to import it from. So
well, I know which one we don't want to. We'll get it from Poland.
Poland, Serbia, Croatia, like they're all.
Yep.
Jeez, I think I have I'm down to 2 of these stickers. These have lasted me forever.
Oh, shit.
I'm compiling all my stickers now that we're talking about stickers.
I know. I'm waiting for good weather. I have an envelope of stickers to put on the Lexus, but it's been so cold that it's just not.
You have to drive by stickers now. That's what happens.
I bought this one from Gone Dirtin', which is a great Instagram follow. Former Montero owner. I think they still own it, but now they have a 73 FJ73 Troopy.
Oh, wow.
Another one similar, good style.
Mm-hmm.
And then supporting, Ohot. And this was a Ukraine charity sticker.
One hell of a town.
Yes. And I got this one from them.
It's Sid, right?
And then Sydney. And then I got this one from them.
I bought the whole lot of coffee mug with the Ladaneva
nice.
on it.
Excellent.
Do me a favor, link me that.
Which one? That store?
Yeah, it's just
it opened today, so you better dive in and grab shit because it's it pops up and then they close. It pops up and then they close.
I'll put it in your email, Ross. I'm sending
the Good Times ashtray. I think I found it.
Okay. It's literally just onehellofatown.com. This is going to go out way before. Sorry if you're listening to this. It's probably closed by
you're
now.
screwed.
These are so good. Yeah, I'm into BDSM. Big ducks such as mallards.
Yeah.
Yeehaw, fuck the law.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God.
You ever get the MILF yet?
Dude,
I love frogs.
I got my brother a sticker once that says I heart pooping in the woods.
That's good. I saw people taking pictures of mine that say that I got from the 4x4 with people that says any truck can be a garbage truck, like clean up after yourself or some shit like that. It's a great sticker.
So good.
That's the Sons of Smokey, the guys who do Gambler 500 do Sons of Smokey Wilderness Defense too. They've had some fun stuff lately.
Oh, I still never procured any of that whiskey.
Oh, you should get what's his name from fucking Gambler on.
We had Tate.
You've had Tate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Tate was awesome.
Oh, I remember that. I think I was reposting it. Yeah. Tate is a maniac.
We got to the end of that episode and Ross was like, what just happened? And I was like,
yep,
that was Tate.
That was a trip.
He was on Shift Talkers and he won.
That's not surprising. He had a lot of knowledge. Like
His story is amazing. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, that was a trip.
Gone Dirtin looks like they're having a lot of fun.
Yes. Gone Dirtin is a good follow. He's an amazing chef. They're both very talented photographers. So I was happy to buy some stickers and support them.
And I love it. This is going to sound weird. I love seeing people with their off-road vehicle, and then you see the pictures of the people they travel with. And normally it's like, yeah, Jeep guys are with Jeeps, Tacoma guys are with Tacomas, but like there are starting to be more and more people that I run into. It's like it's a Troopy, it's a Tundra with a camper on the back, and it's 3 synchros. Like it's not, it's not really. It's just like that's my guys are like, them the Suburban. There's a 100 series Land Cruiser. There's a Land Rover Discovery. Like, and then there's another full size GM product, which that might be adjusting.
May or may not.
Speaking of Land Cruisers, Express Rally Scott was sending me pictures of the diesel that we will be driving in 2 months? I don't even know.
Hopefully my knee works by then, but yeah.
Oh, you guys are going? That's awesome.
It's not even 2 months. It's like
next month.
It's like 5 weeks from now.
Holy
like,
shit,
it's
really?
Not, yeah,
Jeez,
it's like
that's
it's
quick.
like early.
Yeah, you're right.
May.
You're right. Because I have my press card calendar and I was like, oh, block that off. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's right. It's coming up. He sent me pictures of it. Because I commented on something because they released a new batch of t-shirts and I was like, oh man, these designs are dope. That Santa Cruz themed one. He's like, let me know your size. I'm like, oh, I'm happy to pay. He's like, no, I'm putting together a swag thing. I'm like, he's like, also, this is the truck you're gonna be driving. I was like, oh, this is fucking dope.
Dude,
I might hop in for a little bit. I was like, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that thing's a monster.
it's a fucking monster. Jeez.
Yeah. So Aaron's 4Runner with 37s.
Yeah, those are pretty chunky. For sure.
I think they're 37s because he did a lot of suspension work on that. And then
also got rid of a substantial amount of
fender
bumper and boxed out the fenders.
He had a lot of extra fender there anyway. It's a 4Runner.
Yeah, that is a big cut. Oh, and in the nose, that's the Viper cut, right? Or no?
Something like that.
I'm looking forward to it.
I know a guy.
You know a guy?
No guy.
I want to slide one in, kind of hidden in the Montero. It's like one of the next mods.
Winch is. We talked on the show last week about proper winching technique. It is unbelievably dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, but if you do know what you're doing, it is probably a life-saving tool.
Still better than a high lift. Fuck high lift, Jack.
Fuck high lifts. Oh my god. I've had 2 high lifts. Literally.
Guess who we're never getting on the show.
It's funny you had 2.
Yeah, well, one of them was from 1992, and the other one, I don't want to talk about the other one.
The one you probably got from 92 is probably like rusted shut. If you even went to use it.
Dude, oh my god. Yeah.
And you wouldn't even have had a mounting point to use it on the truck. That's the other thing. People just put them on things. They're like, you can't put that on a stock bumper, bro.
No, dude, we tried to use that on a trailer to change a trailer tire.
Sketchy?
No, just
okay.
I mean, rust does its thing.
Okay.
So,
trailers
pro
not
tip.
that heavy too.
Pro tip.
Yeah, fuck high lifts.
High lifts are not rust proof. Anyways,
I found a Suzuki with a one.
We still got a lot to do, so
we have a lot to do. Yeah,
Chris, you got anything you want to touch on other than hashtag van life? No.
Yeah, come talk to me about adventure vans. I'm learning more every day.
You're sponging,
dude. I have not only am I sponging, like I have ideas, and they're like, "Why didn't we think of that?" I'm like, "I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
great.
So sorry." Like,
put them in writing.
They're like, "This is a lot of work now." I'm like, "I'm sorry." Like, just like
that's awesome. That's really good. That's what you want to hear.
Fresh eyes to stuff they haven't seen before. So
yeah.
That can be an issue. Like companies do need to rotate new people in every now and then just to get fresh eyes to stuff.
Bringing that LMC truck mindset.
Oh God, no! Fuck that place.
Corporate stagnance.
Fuck, it's so hard. They sold the brand they said they would never sell. They've sold that off.
Wow.
Yeah, the British car brand. So they're only doing trucks now. Which I mean, it's America. Makes sense.
Yeah.
America's only doing trucks. Speaking of trucks,
America.
let's talk Grand Cherokee, because I have a Grand Cherokee Trailhawk parked 8 feet from me, and Jeff, you spent time in the Grand Cherokee 4xe.
Yes, let's talk Trailhawk. So, this is airing post embargo. That's basically a reminder to you two. This is airing post embargo.
I'm not changing dates, but
it's the best one. It's the best Grand Cherokee.
How many miles of electric range?
25.
Okay.
Wait, so it's a 4xe Trailhawk?
4xe Trailhawk.
Well, it doesn't have to just be a Trailhawk. It's a 4xe Grand Cherokee. So you can get it in a Summit. I think you can get it in an Overland. Yeah. It starts high. The cheapest 4xe is 56 or something, and then it goes up to like 70 something, and for a full Summit Reserve. It is excellent. It has more power than the V8. It's quicker than the V8, and it is more efficient than the V6.
How much more does it weigh?
How much horse?
How much does it weigh? How much added weight are they talking?
I didn't get a curb weight, but that's a great question. But the 0 to 60 is faster than the V8.
Wow.
By like a second.
What?
Yeah, because it's 470 horse.
That's fucking crazy.
Horse, yeah, it's
the same as the,
or is it 470 torque? I forget. But either way, the thing rips. Because I drove it like a couple weeks ago. The embargo is far from the drive of it. Yeah, so my brain isn't fresh on it.
Multiple waves.
We drove on the freeway outside of Austin to this off-road place that some guy owns, and we did things in it that at first we got onto the trail, and it was lead follow on the trail, and they're like, all right, in this section we're going to put in 4 low, and I'm like, I roll my eyes, because anytime you're on a trip where they're like, all right, you need 4 low, you never need 4 low. When I was on the Frontier launch, Lynn Woodward and I were in the Frontier. We were in the lead truck behind a side-by-side that was leading us on the trail, and at one point we stopped, and they're like, you guys do a little bit of off-roading? We're like, yeah. And we looked behind us, and there were no trucks behind us.
Nice.
And we weren't in 4 low. I turned to Lynn. I was like, I'm keeping it in 4 high, because I want to see what this truck can do. She's like, I totally agree. And there were 1 or 2 spots where 4 low made life easier, but 4 high could do it. With this, I was like, oh, fuck, here we go, 4 low. And then we got to a section, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do this in my Montero. It was they had spotters who were really good trail spotters. I watched Sean Holman do it, who would be a great guest on this if you haven't had him.
We've had him twice.
Okay, good. You guys get everybody. You guys are so good at it. Yeah. And then I watched Emmy Hall go up, who I know you've had. And then I went, and the truck makes a left turn up a rock face, and then they're like, all right, give it gas, and we're going to let the rear end slide to get into position. I'm like, that's dope move. And then you climb up the rock face, and then we come around a little bit, and then you're going straight fucking down, and it's all just crawling. It's doing its thing. I'm like, no, Wrangler owners might do this. Grand Cherokee owners will never do this. And this is so impressive to me. And if you had EV power, like if you had battery in reserve, which there's a mode to save battery, just like on the Wrangler, I think it's called e-save. You could do it silently and just fucking e-torque your way up that. And then the Grand Cherokee-ness of it, because you can get it with the Macintosh, which is the best sound system on the market right now for production.
Fucking great.
It just blasts. The seats are crazy comfortable. It's funny. That looks so crossed up too, with the front wheels going left.
Right.
Yeah. The seats are actually great. Like really, truly good.
It was really, 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 really good.
The taillight bar looks like the Cayenne taillight bar.
Yeah.
You can actually see the airbags in the back.
Dude, okay. I was shocked. I put it in like entry exit and then put it in off-road 2 mode. And it's 11.3 inches of ground clearance, which on, like 31s, it's up there, you know? So, yeah.
I was blown away. It's expensive, but like all Jeeps are expensive. So I'm not insanely shocked by the price or anything like that. It is really, 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 really good. And I would recommend it to people if they're looking for that size SUV I would recommend it over a lot of other SUVs. I get it over an Explorer in a fucking heartbeat.
So
yeah, I really liked it.
I mean, reality is at $65,000 or $70,000, though, it's not an Explorer competitor. It's probably more like
that's true.
Discovery competitor, or Discovery. It's Discovery Sport territory.
I mean, it waxes that. It's the interior is nicer.
Yeah.
The sound system is nicer. The drivetrain is nicer. The experience is nicer.
Mhm.
So
Ethernet great.
Yeah.
All that stuff is great. It's not super pretty. Like
no, these two they're showing in these photos
again.
aren't good examples. There were ones they had that looked nicer. So these are either Overland or I guess it's a Rubicon trim.
It's just a 4xe, I think.
Mm-hmm.
No, because because the Summit, because these are the lower tier wheels, but there's like these might be the Rubicons, and then I think the Overland might look a little nicer.
I think that's Trailhawk because it's got.
Oh, you're right. No, that's the name of the thing. I'm not Rubicon, Trailhawk.
But it's got a
but the Overland sits above the Trailhawk.
Okay.
In this lineup, which I thought it would have been the other way around. And then there's the Summit above that. And then there's a base one that doesn't have some of the stuff the Trailhawk does. Mm-hmm. Because then the Summit adds back in like bigger wheels, because it's
right.
The Summit.
Okay, so Grand Cherokee 4xe as per Jeep site starts at $58,095 for the base model, which they call 4xe.
Yep.
Then Trailhawk is $62,900. Overland is $66,000. Summit is $69,800, and then Summit Reserve is $74,300 to get in.
Right. Summit Reserve is crazy. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, so I've had the V6. It's a Pentastar, which has always been good. I was kind of surprised that it was a Pentastar and not, the 5.7 Hemi in the presser, but it's like fine, but it doesn't feel like $66,000 or whatever.
In a V6, no, it does not.
Yeah,
because as nice as the car will be inside, the engine can let it down at that point. But I think I remember the sweet spot in the lineup of the 4xe specifically being the Overland, because you get the Trailhawk shit, but then you get a few nicer things from, like, you can't get the Macintosh in the Trailhawk, but you can get it in the Overland. I think that was a big thing.
There is an off-road package that you can get.
Where you can downsize to
18s.
Yeah. And it's a no cost option as long as you get the package. Like, it's no cost to downsize to 18s as long as you check the box for this other package.
Yeah.
It's all kind of coming back to me.
It's the refresher course.
Yeah. No, but it was way, way better. I thought it'd be like, all right, this is fine. And that's kind of how I actually went into the Wrangler 4xe actually. And I put a lot of miles on that. And it was like, wow, that's actually really good. And there's no wonder it's better to lease them too right now. Like, everybody's
for sure.
The lease incentives on the Wrangler. Yeah. So
actually, that was my
the Grand Cherokee 4xe, for anybody considering in this segment, it's fucking great.
When you get the EV tax credits though.
Yep.
Yes.
And 25 miles of electric range.
Yeah. So if your commute is short enough, you're not even using gas and you have more horsepower.
That's the one I would buy.
5.7. Yep.
I think my commute is now 38 miles.
Still pretty good. If you could charge at work.
I can't.
Tell them
we don't have any e-transits yet.
Initiative. So. Yeah. You got to get an e-transit. You got to get a plug. Yes.
And then I get 200 miles. So I don't.
What's the most miles you've put on a press car?
It was, well, technically I drove an e-tron cross country. So that. But not counting that, I think I did 1,200 in either a Genesis or an Equus, but I told them I wouldn't have just done that. So I drove, my wife and I, pre-child, we drove from here to Vegas. We met her parents in Vegas, and then we went to Zion and what's one of the other ones? Yeah, we did Zion and Bryce, and then we drove all the way back. So it was like 1,200 miles. I wrote it for Hooniverse, but I think it's one of those stories that got lost in the website. The great fucking of Hooniverse. As I like to refer to it, as I just made up on the spot.
Yeah. Not even lovingly, just
I love the redesign of the site. I hate what happened to the back end of the site.
Yeah.
So the designer was great. The designer was not a computer science guy, and he maybe oversold his abilities to migrate websites. Yeah. Good designer, but
He was okay at migrating words. He wasn't great at migrating pictures.
Right.
Nope,
So he's a
we
good
lost-
designer,
we
but he
actually
wasn't
lost
a web
words, too.
developer.
He lost words too.
Oh yeah, there's tons
Fuck.
of articles. Some
Yeah.
of my favorite articles are gone.
Oh, that's
Yep.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Ross hasn't paid attention to what Pete says very often because Pete's been on that for a while.
Oh, no.
Still.
Yeah, there's some of my favorite
Sad.
articles are absolutely just gone.
That's disappointing. Anyways, so we got a whole list of shit to talk
We can
about.
rip through them.
Let's rip through them. All right. The Montero.
Yeah.
You've
Glossed
done
over
some.
the roof rack. We showed
Yeah,
the pictures.
yeah.
Ordered a Gamma VD roof rack, and it was a better price than going off the shelf Rhino or Front Runner, which is really interesting. This guy makes roof racks for mostly Toyota, Lexus. Like if you know Corsetti Cruisers,
Yep.
they use his roof racks typically.
Hmm.
And it's just a really because I needed a rain gutter. I needed a gutter mount rack,
Yep.
which is not as many people make those anymore.
There's no holes on the top, right?
No holes on the top. Yeah. So he's like, well, give me your measurements. I'd love to do a Montero. And he makes just real sick, clean racks to what you want them. He's like, I could do an integrated light bar, not integrated, but light bar mounts in the front if you want as well. So there's a light bar in the front. I've actually slid this back since that photo too. So actually go to the right more.
That is great for you.
No, that one. Yeah. Go back one. And then
That-
go forward. Then go forward. Now go forward too.
It's like forgetting Sarah Marshall. No, a little higher, a little
So
lower. A little
the
higher.
rack was sitting forward because I had no clearance in the back, and he shipped me out these other towers, so I gained an inch of clearance and I slid the roof back a little bit. But the light bars, like it's just like a Chinese LED light bar, but it fits for now, and I'm fine with it. So I'm going to mount that up, and I'm very excited. And the only reason I was never going to get a roof rack because I actually like the clean look of no roof rack, and I'm never going to do a tent on the roof of it anyway because I don't like rooftop tents.
You don't like dropping your coefficient of drag by half
Yeah, exactly.
or doubling
And
it,
raising
rather?
your
Yeah.
center of gravity to the moon.
Yeah.
I wanted an awning. That's why I got a roof rack.
Mm.
And so I'm going to talk to GTFO Overland soon about
yeah.
ordering through them because they're a supplier for. I used to say Darsh, but I think it's Darchi when the Australians say it.
I don't know.
I couldn't tell.
So I always want to say Stan Darsh, but it's. I watched a
Wow,
video on
that's
one
funny.
today, and the guy's like, "Hey, we're here with our Dachi 270 opening," and I was like, "So it's
So
Darchi?"
it's Darchi now.
Archie.
Because I have two Darchi Firefly camping chairs I just got the other day, which are excellent.
Nice.
And they make a 270 awning. Because I was originally just going to go with the one side,
Mhm.
and I keep looking at the 270, and
Dude.
it's so sick.
Okay, let me know which one you end up with because I have about 2 months before I need one on my truck too. So
Well, because of this awning, you can buy the walls and like start.
Yes.
that's
build-
what Chris
it's
was
like
saying.
it
I
turns
love
my
these
truck
things.
into its own like little town.
This is
And then
I don't know.
I'd buy
Little
the
town.
cot, so I'm not on the
Montero
ground.
Town.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
So just pull the rooftop tent out of the middle of this, and then that's you just tent in there basically.
That's the
And
size of
it's
my
so
house.
easy to open and close. It's really easy. It's really well designed. I think one of the walls they make might even have a window. You don't need to buy all the walls, so you could like just tent a part of it.
Yeah.
You could even just do part of it and then have an actual tent underneath it for to really close you in. But I was gonna go one-sided awning, and I keep looking at it. I'm like, oh my god, 270 awning is the shit.
So I have also looked at a lot of the 8-foot ones that you can attach the room to, and I like those as well. But yeah, the 270s are just
It's so sick. It
Mhm.
folds up on one side. I think I might
Well,
go that route. And then on top of
It's a
that,
game changer.
because I'm looking at the notes, I met a PR guy who handles Dometic. I was like, oh, jackpot.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, so I was really interested in a powered cooler and the PLB 40, which is their portable battery system. He's like, yeah, no problem. He's like, are you going to do a story on it? I'm like, bro, if you send me that shit, I'll do like 5 stories on it. Like, what are you talking about here? That's like $2,000 worth of gear. Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding
Yep.
me? So I got the CFX 3, which is the current generation of cooler, and I got the 35. I got the little guy because I
Okay.
don't need the 55 because that's ridiculous.
That's like for a week.
They're bigger than that.
So I got the 35, and then I got the PLB 40, which is the portable battery. And And then I'm going to go from GTFO, I'm going to go buy portable solar. I don't want to mount anything to the roof. I just want to get like the unfold it, set it
The
out.
rollers.
The stuff that you can throw either
just,
up on the roof or on the ground, just in case. Like,
and I was talking to
park in the shade, get an extension.
Exactly. I was talking to Kurt at GTFO because I'm not good with electrical and understanding it. And I assumed I needed like deep cycle battery, dual battery setup, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you're just weekend worrying the shit. You're fine. He's like, the output of that fridge, because it's not a constant on, fridges are on, off, you know, because they're just maintaining temperature. PLB 40 can handle plenty. The solar will take in more than your fridge is putting out. So you're charging the PLB 40 during the day. At night, the PLB 40 keeps the fridge running. He's like, you're fine. I was like, sweet. Because I thought I was going to need like dual deep cycle marine battery buried somewhere in the back, you know, like all this shit, inverters, like blah, 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 blah. He's like, you don't need any of that. Like,
what is the, do you know the amp hours in the PLB 40?
I do not.
Okay.
It's literally still in the box back there. I have to like unbox it, figure it out, and then like do my research before I talk about it.
It's 40.
Okay. PLB 40.
PLB
40 amp hours.
Huh.
So that's not.
Imagine that.
How about that? It's like the fucking Jeep, the 370.
Yeah.
So like an AGM, like a standard AGM is 100 amp hours. So like this is about half the size of a standard AGM battery. So
sure. But then he said that like the on off on the Dometic, it's only drawn like, I want to say like 4. It's not a huge draw because it's not constant on.
Right.
And the power, because it's 150 watt solar that I was looking at, like I would be net positive during the day, basically.
Okay.
In full sun.
Yeah.
In
so
full
I'm
no clouds.
True. Right. So I'm charging the PLB 40. Well, it's enough to charge and power cooler at the same time.
You could also, if that's the ratio, and I'm not an electronics expert, you could also do some kind of power type thing to charge phones and laptops if you have them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that LP40 has attachments, Ross. It's got 2
USBs.
USBs.
It has outlets to
push.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh, yeah. You don't.
There
need
you go.
I don't need an inverter to
12
add.
volt DC.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Cool.
The PLB 40, I don't.
Nice.
So
that's cool.
So Montero is some good shit is happening. I got to get the light wired up, and then I'm installing right here.
Nice.
Oh, he got a rugged radio.
Got a rugged.
Yeah.
So the good news is when we both have Midlands.
Oh, right.
We don't know the rugged guys.
I bought that. I kept seeing the ads and I was like, fuck it. I want it because when the place installs the power for the light bar from the roof, I was like, we'll do the radio at the same time, knock it out.
Yeah. And you'll just get that tiny antenna we put that on the roof rack.
I don't know. I know they make like a little ditch mount for the front fender, but if I'm gonna go up by the light bar, I might go up top too.
Is it drill mount or is it magnetic?
He doesn't know yet.
Because the mount that Midland sent me was like a stick-on base with a magnetic mount for the antenna. So we put it on the hood, so it's just far enough forward on the driver's side. So when you open the hood, it doesn't, hit the windshield.
I've seen that. I've seen
anything.
That. Yeah, no, I was assuming we were drilling.
Okay, yeah. There's, the CB and GMRS guys are as intensive about modifications or their their tech as anybody. Yeah. And a lot of the resources say the place for best reception is forward of the driver and against oncoming traffic, because it's the point at which the least signal gets reflected away from the direction you would want it to go.
So by the radio antenna.
Yeah.
If that's where it is, sure.
That's where my radio antenna is, so that makes sense.
Okay.
Huh,
well, yeah. But mine's, if I'm sitting in the driver's seat, it's like just on the other side of the pillar.
Oh yeah, right.
And I have a clip that goes on the side of my hood that it just slides on
that.
So.
Interesting. I may have to think about this a little more.
So
definitely think about it before you cut things. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Just put it on the when you
guys,
take the
Go ahead.
No. Yeah,
I was gonna say, can you pause for 1 second so I can pee?
Yeah, of course.
See, this is like a good hard cut for you because I don't remember to cut this in my own podcast. I had a podcast where there's 2 minutes of me gone.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
We're gonna play the Jeopardy music.
No, stop talking so I could see the down point.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was the best April Fool's article. Was Cybertruck officially canceled?
Oh, I didn't even see that. That's
oh,
fun.
it was so good.
Is that the
Nice.
Onion? Because then like,
I was still in Hawaii that day, flying back.
Oh, you fucker.
Have
One
you
of
been
the-
to Hawaii?
not
one of
since
the
I was a
people-
toddler.
Ross,
Ross,
you've
have you been to Hawaii?
No.
Oh.
It's really far.
I mean, I didn't go till I was
an
an adult. We didn't go anywhere, but
Yeah.
it's the fucking best.
Yeah,
I never wanted to go because I
How
was like,
short's a
I wouldn't
flight
wanna
from
go to our- on the way there, it's like 5 3/4, and on the way back, it's like 4.5.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's 12 for me.
Yeah. Plus big time change.
Plus big touches. We were going to do it for a honeymoon, but we were like, you can go to Europe pretty easily, just
Yeah.
the two of us, and then Hawaii.
Also get to the Caribbean.
with a kid.
Yeah.
No.
No. From the East Coast, it's a hard proposition, but I will say it's fucking. I was never like a big time like, oh, we gotta go to Hawaii. We gotta go to Hawaii. And then I went there once, actually for the first time. Jen worked for a different company when she was pregnant with her daughter. She won an award trip, and we went to Maui. And I was like, okay, I was wrong. This place is fucking amazing. And then I went back for a press trip where I got to bring my family when Honda launched
the van
Odyssey.
one. Remember that?
Yep. So we went to Kona, and then we did a family trip to Kauai where my daughter was younger. When we got there, she'd been there for an hour. She's like, I want to go home. I'm like, bitch, you better fucking straighten up. Obviously I didn't say that. But we were like, so this trip to Kauai is going to be a lot more fun because she's older and she can do shit. So I've been fortunate to go to Hawaii a handful of times, and I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's number one on my list of places.
When you're there, you're Ohana.
That sounds like some marketing.
Yep.
God, I wish Hawaii made me. So I'm looking at your list. In Hawaii, I had a Gladiator. I had a
Yes.
Gladiator Sport that I rented for one day. And I just talked about it in my podcast because it was a fucking ridiculous story that I'm not going to fully recount here because I'm going to leave you to plug my podcast. Go listen to it.
His show
Which-
will be up by
What's
the time this show comes out.
Yeah,
because of
Episode
the embargo on
324 of the Hooniverse podcast.
If you're, I was just there. You go.
There you go. Episode 324. But I will jump, even though this is an off-road podcast, because you have on the list the E-Cobra. That's probably worth talking about.
Yes.
That's probably worth talking about. So
We still do car stuff.
We do.
Superformance is a literal 5 minutes away from me. Wonderful people, as far as I know. And they came out with they made an electric Cobra. Hey, it's me. They came out with an
That's
electric
you.
Cobra. So that is a typical wide body Cobra, 427 Cobra body. I personally prefer the narrow bodies, but so this Cobra, it does not have a gas engine. It has batteries in the nose, and the rear axle motor is from a P100D.
God.
Oh,
They have it tuned down as far as they can tune it down before the motor goes into limp mode.
Mhm.
And then they would have to rewire it. And so at its lowest point, it's making 1,500 pound-feet of torque.
Fuck.
That's electric torque, not going through a gearbox. It's instant over the rear axle in a Cobra that weighs less than a gas-powered Cobra.
It weighs less than a gas-powered Cobra?
It weighs less than a gas-powered Cobra.
Okay, that's just silly.
how did is there more room in this one? Because like you and I are about the same height, and I struggle to fit in a Cobra.
I fit. The problem with the Cobra 2 is the pedals are offset.
Yeah.
So the sneakers, thankfully the sneakers I was wearing, I could just get my left foot. I could get my left foot back there, and the brake pedal like went in an angle just past it. So
Okay.
I could do it. It is the sketch. It's not sketchy because if once you're used to it, you can totally just cruise in it. But the minute you give it like throttle, like for real throttle, tires are spinning.
Just
It's-
spins.
What? So that's the follow-up question. What tires are on that? Because most of the
backs
time
are like
they're on,
335s.
What?
holy
which they
shit.
thought would be enough tire, and it is not. Dear
That's
reader,
Viper tire size.
it's a massive tire.
Are they
And-
like the BFG like
I don't remember.
retro-ish ones that
No. They're like real
like
tire. It's real tire.
sports
It's
or
not
something.
fucking Cokers or something under there. No, it's a real tire, and it's not enough. And the crazy part. So I said they detuned it to 1500 when they first put the motor in and tested it. It was originally making 4,000 pound-feet of torque.
What?
Cobras have bite. So here's the weird thing too. When you do a brake stand, when you get the wheels to spin, in a normal gas car, if you let off the gas, it all kind of shuts down. You know, like you can go on the brake. It's like there's this weird no more push for more momentum. It's weird, especially if you're is that Takahashi? No,
I think so.
It looks like, no, it's Scott Evans.
That's Scott Evans.
I figured I'd keep it close.
It's funny because that's the same road, which is close to my house. So he had to come down by me to drive that, I'm assuming. That's the same road
right by your
my
house.
photos from. I know that road very well.
Is the gas cap the charging port?
Yeah, where the gas cap is.
Fuck.
It's under the gas cap, which is
so
brilliant.
cool.
There's this weird thing when you do a brake stand, the wheels spin, and then when they get traction, it's almost Ashton at Superformance, who's the owner's son. He described it really well. It's almost like a flywheel has built up energy. They want to keep spinning.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just come to a stop after you do a brake stand. So I like drove up in towards the camera car and I was like, wow. It's absolutely wild. I was talking to him about it. He's like, so this is a prototype. He said, if we produce it, I don't think we would use this motor. I think we would go with like a Mach-E motor or something. And he said, because even if they cut the power, not in half, if they cut the power in a third, it would still be wicked. But what they are working on as a proof of concept idea is they want to take their Daytona Coupe, which I actually prefer that body style to the Cobras, and they want to do a dual motor all-wheel drive setup.
Oh my God. With what kind of transmission?
I don't even know.
Doesn't even matter. That's a death rocket.
It'd be the best.
Oh,
would they keep the side pipes?
I don't think it needs side pipes unless it's just like
speakers. Yeah.
No, that's one of my favorite cars I've ever driven. Is a
so pretty
Cobra Daytona replica.
So,
dude, I've had time in a Cobra with like a detuned like SN95 engine in it and like a 5-liter and like that was detuned to like 325 horse. Like that thing was sketched the whole time.
Right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can't imagine it like this.
1,500 pound-feet of torque instant.
God,
I've driven a gas Cobra before when I did that classic car show that didn't go anywhere. The
lost tapes.
There was some dude showed up at like our end of show. We had a big like at some diner somewhere in the middle of America where it's like, oh, everybody come bring your cars. And it's like a big bye-bye episode. And there's a dude there who had a Cobra with a Hemi in it. He's like, you want to go for a spin? You can drive
5.7, 6.4.
Hemi. I think so. Hemi automatic, 250 shot of nitrous.
God damn.
So I never hit the nitrous, but I was like, this is crazy. 400 or 500 horsepower Hemi. This thing's wild. He's like, yeah, it's cool. And we just cruised. I'm like, have you ever hit the nitrous? He's like, I have a friend who lives on one of those like private communities that also has an airstrip, like a John Travolta type setup. Mm-hmm. He's like, so we went out on his airstrip and we hit the thing once and we immediately spun. He's like, I will never touch that button again. I was like, that's fair. You should just take the whole system out.
Yeah, exactly. Pull it out.
So I drove that and then I drove this electric Cobra. I'd never driven another Cobra in between, but I've driven the Daytona Coupe and I've driven Superformance's Corvette, which I didn't think would be my favorite one. It's my favorite one. It's the best.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, and that's such a polar opposite from like, people who've spent a lot of time in Cobras a lot of them come back to like, the 289 is actually the one that you want to own.
Oh, it's a prettier car for sure.
But also
narrow body Cobras
actually fucking drive the thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's just
better.
Yeah.
You can drive it more.
Dying every time you get into it.
Though when I went there, Ashton, again, the dude running it, that Lance's son, a Superformance, there was a car in the back that was an actual CSX race car.
Like a numbered car?
Like one of 10 CSX race cars. That was his race car. It was on jack stands. He's like, yeah, it has a Yates motor that revs to 10 and makes 900 horsepower.
What?
It revs to 10 in a Cobra.
And it makes 900 horsepower?
Yeah, not it's in my Instagram somewhere, but I don't know where it is. But that's the Corvette I drove, and that thing was the fucking.
Oh my god, these are just such silly numbers.
Yeah, they all are. Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
you said on jack stands?
Mhm.
All right, I got it.
It was a black one.
Yeah.
Sometime around the time. Yeah, that one. That's an actual CSX car. There's not a lot of them. He races it at Willow. And
Short
by the
for
way,
$10
State
million.
Performance, these are the guys who supplied all the cars for Ford versus Ferrari too. So like some of those cars are just like chilling in there. And
is it Willow kind of sketch?
yeah,
Any
Willow is
races is
awesome.
there?
They call it the fastest track in the West or west of the Mississippi or whatever. And it is awesome. It's so much fun. And then 8 into 9, 8. So it's the big loop when you come back onto the start finish straightaway. 8 into 9, it tightens up, and that's where like. If you're there on a motorcycle, it's, I guess, the sketchiest corner because you'll just go off and grab dirt and there's a wall and you're fucking dead.
Is that the wall the guy in the Mustang hit?
The wall in the Mustang is more towards the beginning part of 8 where he came in and lost something. And that's an amazing video where he
is.
And it's funny because you can drive, there's a
overhead.
road that goes around the backside of that brick wall to get to like Streets of Willow and other things. And it's all painted. And then there's one part where it's like fresher painted, which is where his Mustang went through.
So there's Big Willow and there's Streets of Willow.
Yeah. Yep. And then there's actually like 3 other things. There's the balcony, which is, you see a lot of drifting happening. There's like a dirt oval, which they do a lot of stunt training. We got to take a drift car on it once for Drift 101. There's like a figure 8 type thing, which will also sometimes the drift people use. Because if like someone's using something, the drift people will move to something else. And but the 2 main courses are big. We call it Big Willow and Streets.
Okay. Interesting. And how long is Streets?
I don't know. It's not that long. It's just tighter and more technical than Big. Big is fast.
Yeah.
Streets is like if Mazda was going to launch a new Miata, they would do it on Streets, because on Big you'd be like,
yeah, no, it's just like a lot of the time people talk about tracks and they're like, yeah, we did like the short course or the small course. And like,
that's Horse Thief Mile too. I forgot about Horse Thief Mile. They do tons of drifting in that.
You know, and like Lime Rock's my home track. So,
that 8 to 9 tightening. Yeah.
So it tightens up so much. And then down by like where it kind of tightens between the end corner of East Paddock and that, there's like a wall there. And then where it says RV area is basically where that Mustang went off.
Back here?
Yeah, because that's a road.
That's the road there.
So he broke through a wall and cleared that road and landed on the other side. But it in like a good car, not even a crazy car, like in like fucking like 3 SRT Challengers at the end of the straight before you hit on the brakes for 1. If you're crazy, I think you can hit 140.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you can get real, and then even in so in like 911s, you know, you're doing 150, 160.
Didn't some journalist allegedly sail a CTSV off this track?
Probably. No, and unless it was the one you're thinking of where it was like a big story, because there was a story, funny enough, you showed that photo of the Cobra driven by Scott Evans. Scott Evans made the news because I think he wiped out an ATSV on the way to a track event once.
Oh,
like he flipped it on the way to the track.
Oops.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. It's all coming back.
It was. I think it was wet at least.
I don't think
ATSV. That's 5 years ago already. We're talking.
And this was like the generation before that.
It was early.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Man. Oh. CT4V Blackwing. My soul.
I gotta drive it. Yeah, I haven't driven it.
Fun.
I don't know.
The best.
I'll let you pick anything else on that list because I don't want to keep. I will be here as long as you want, but
I
podcast
don't have schoolwork due tonight, so I have free reign.
All right.
Let's get it over with before my.
I've been on drugs for knee surgeries. I don't know how long I'm gonna last.
Chris is like, what time is it? Okay. Let's get this one out of the way so you can tell us about it, and then I can put it out of my memory so I don't, try to sell my truck in my house. The 911 GTS Targa. The best.
Okay. So
is it the best thing ever?
It looks so good.
It's so pretty. And it's like,
I'm not a homer for Porsche. You know, I'm not one of these, you know, there's so many automotive journalists who are like, these are the best, these are the best. And then as soon as you drive one, you go, fuck, these are everything they've said and more. They're the best. They really are the best. And this is like, I would almost call it a compromised car for the GTS trim. And GTS is my favorite trim on pretty much any Porsche out there. So it's always this brilliant middle ground, you know, that gets some great things from the best.
Yeah, best tires, best suspension, best brakes.
Yeah, yep,
but
yep. So this gets
not
the center locks from the Turbo S. Yeah, it gets the bigger brakes, but it's not too much power. It's not blah blah blah. It's like a perfectly livable machine. But the compromise with the GTS comes because the coupe and the convertible can be had in rear wheel drive, whereas the Targa is all wheel drive only, which is fine. It's an entertaining all wheel drive system. The coupe and convertible get additional rear suspension upgrades from the GT3, whereas the Targa doesn't. And I think that's due to the weight of the roof, because I think it adds like 200 pounds.
But
But I don't care, because this is the one I would take. I
just don't understand. There used to be a GTS rear wheel drive, didn't there? Like,
I don't think there was a Targa.
Not a Targa.
Right. No, there still is.
But there's
convertible.
Well, but why? Why can't they just do? Because rear wheel drive Targa GTS would be game over.
I think it's that weight of that top, or you know, they can't get the suspension in there that they want. But this is me speculating. But this car had the 7-speed. The throws were excellent. The clutch was excellent. The steering feel is excellent. The brakes are obviously excellent. The throttle response is fantastic. The noise is great. The interior is excellent. And with the brown leather on the inside.
Oh my gosh.
It was
the spec on this car was amazing.
It's green. It's like metallic-y green brown almost.
Yep.
Fuck.
Greenish gray. And then the problem too with this car, because the thing I love about the GTS is it's usually priced really well. So the coupe, the GTS coupe is $138, which is a lot of money, but for a 911 is actually excellent.
Base price for 911 is $101.
Right.
Base no option car.
I love when 138 can sound reasonable.
Right. No, 100%. Bananas price for anything you're going to pay. But since we're playing in this space, we're playing pretend. This car, the base is 158. Then this car as tested was 175.
Jesus.
Turbo's base was 174.
Yeah. Well,
so
I think it's higher now, right?
I'm on the website. I'm looking at the
Oh, it's 174 now.
Yeah. Turbo, not only turbo from 174.3.
Okay, for turbo. Okay, because I think in the video I said Turbo S, but okay.
I'm not there.
I priced out a Targa online just to see if I built one, because I would do paint to sample. Because if you're paying this much, I would do a different. I would actually get green, but I would get a different green. And my final price tag, speccing it as I would spec it, was $212.
My Lord.
Which is fucking, it like kind of kills the idea of a GTS. So like the true GTS is coupe with the lightweight package, and that's it.
Okay.
But
the
Targa is my favorite body style, because I'm not a convertible guy.
Right.
For some reason I love the Targa. So this car was spec'd as if they were like, hey Jeff, if you were gonna spec a Targa, how would you do it? Like green over brown, manual gearbox.
Have you ever offered to buy a press car?
Yes, actually, my before COVID, my wife was curious about an RDX to replace the CX-5, and I reached out. I was like, "Hey, any of these RDXs coming off fleet? What would the price be to get one?" And they gave me some numbers, and they were totally fair numbers. And then I think COVID hit, and we were like, "Well, we're not driving. It still has under 100,000." And then now we've since paid it off, so it's kind of like.
Gotcha.
We're not going to sell that Mazda for a while.
No.
But no, I looked at, I actually asked for prices on the cars in the fleet specifically for an RDX.
Okay.
But that's it.
Farrah talks about offering to buy like that X5M all the time.
And the Polestar.
The Polestar. Harris bought the Polestar. I made
a press car.
Yeah. Yeah. I made an offer to buy the TRD Pro 4Runner in the Lunar Rock TRD Pro 4Runner.
That's smart. That's the only way you're going to get it without a markup.
Yes, which they told me was available to buy exactly 1 month after I bought my Lexus in November. It's like, fuck. But
That sucks. No,
you
because even if even if I was like, hey, when that Porsche comes out, let me know the price. They'd
yes,
be like, okay, like
10%
you're gonna
over
buy it.
MSRP.
No, yeah, it's yeah. Even if they were like, oh, asking was 175, it's got 12,000 miles on it now, 10,000 miles on it, so we'll sell it to you for 150. It's like, okay, so
You say it's okay. I
mortgage.
sold my second home. We can make this work.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
like this
It's no money.
This car was 6,000. My
Yeah.
Montero was 3,500. My mountain bike was 5,500.
Jesus Christ.
Your mountain bike is so much more than mine.
Your
that
mountain
much.
bike costs
pay that
more
much.
than half the cars that I've owned.
I traded in a used mountain bike and I got 1,000 on trade-in for that, and then I bought on Black Friday. So my mountain bike
Dude.
was like 4.
Chris bought a bike a few months ago, and I told him this story.
Jeff and I had talked extensively.
Somebody sold my mountain bike a couple years ago, so I've been looking at bikes. I went into the store and was asking about something specific, like $700 bike. Let the record show, and the guy brings up the thing, and he's like, "Okay, so I can get you this color in May, this color in September, or this color in May."
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, May's not bad. I can wait until May." And he's like, "No. It's May of 2023."
Yep.
What?
Fuck yeah. Nope.
Dude, I had to go to a different store, but it was still same day.
No.
Yeah, they're out there. You just got to know where to look. And then I follow some shops where they'll literally post like, we got bikes in stock. Like they'll post it like that day. My buddy Josh was thinking about upgrading his bike, and he was shopping in Utah and Colorado because they get a lot of bikes there. And he was like, I'll pay shipping. I don't care. That's how fucked up it was. But I bought my bike. It's a 2020. I got it like Black Friday that year or just before. I forget. But I'm happy with my bike. I've done a few upgrades. Yeah. Nice Fox shocks and whatnot.
Fox shocks?
Fox, yeah.
So just moving through the list. I was going to segue into the Raptor with Fox shocks, but we already did Raptor.
We did Raptor.
It's still good.
You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to bring this up because I've had a few beers.
Good.
This is now going longer than you guys wanted.
That's fine.
I shouldn't bring this up, but I'm going to bring this up.
Hit it.
A prominent automotive journalist posted something online where, and this bothered me, so that's why I'm bringing it up. This is like therapy. Prominent automotive journalist brought something up where they posted about a Ram TRX, who's a friend of mine, and they're like, the least interesting part about this is the engine, and I was like, that's bullshit. That's not true. Like, I know the suspension is very interesting, all this stuff is very interesting, but to say the engine is the least interesting part is not fucking true, because otherwise it's just a Raptor. The Raptor does all the same shit. Raptor's had amazing suspension for years, and blah blah blah. Live valve, Fox live valve is fucking wild. But yeah, Bilstein Black Hawk E2s are very impressive.
Yep.
I mean, but also the ZR2 shock, the fucking DSSV.
Yeah, the Multimatic shit is also
very impressive shit. So to say the engine is the least interesting part is horseshit. The reason you pick a Ram over the Raptor is because the fucking engine. You have 252 more horsepower.
Yes.
I love that I'm diving into this right now. So I said that. I was like, this is ridiculous. And they were like, one word juvenile responses to what I said. And like one or two of their like simpy followers were like, like, I can't believe you should, like the corny. I'm like, I didn't, but I wanted to reply like, dude, is his dick in your mouth right now? Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing on the, like, not to the journalist, to the
follower. Yeah.
It was real weird. And then I got to the point where I'm like, I'm not going to respond anymore, because it was back and forth. And again, this is the person I call a friend, and it was really annoying and frustrating because it actually kind of upset me. And I don't want to sound like a little baby. That's why I backed away. And then they cited someone they know and who works for them, and who you guys know in the off-road industry, who this person texted me an article like unprompted, as if it was backing up what they had to say. And I didn't respond to the text either. But then I saw the person who wrote the article at an event. And I was like, hey, I'd been drinking. I was like, hey, blah, 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 blah. Basically, all I just told you guys, I said this to this person. They're like, the person doesn't know shit about off-road. Everything you said is right. I was like, that's why and then I Instagram post like this thing where I was like, I was drunk. I shouldn't do this. I was like, it feels so good to be validated, blah, 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 blah. And I got a text from my buddy Josh. He's like, are you on some sad boy shit right now? I'm like, no. And I deleted the post, but I was like, it was really fucking frustrating. And I'm sure people are listening, like, who was it? Like, I don't need to name names. It's just annoying when someone is like, who has a high level of standing and does know a lot about cars, then says shit about maybe something you know a bit more about, off-roading and trucks and blah, 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 blah. I'm not an expert on it at all. I've only been doing it for a few years, but I've been able to experience from running buggies in Baja, testing tires, driving my own Montero on a daily fucking basis, to, you know, a whole bunch of other things. To them to say that line is absolutely ridiculous. But then it wasn't the line, it was the response to the line where they were just like performing for their followers. Where if we had that conversation in person, it'd be different. So it was really, 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 really frustrating.
What was the this was on Instagram? The media was Instagram?
Yeah, of course. I mean, to say that, to add that part to it makes me want to be like, all right, forget it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But it actually, I wasn't even home too. I was like traveling with my family and I was still responding. I'm like, I need to shut the phone off. This is fucking stupid. What am I doing right now? But it did upset me. Yeah.
I bet I feel like part of it is because we've become so numb to like horsepower wars that their experience of those shocks, even though, like, especially if they're not as experienced.
I can understand being numb to the horsepower wars, but the horsepower wars have never happened in the truck space, you know? So like it's always cars. Like they have to a degree, but not to the degree where Raptor was like, oh, 450, and then Ram was like, cute. And that's a huge
number.
We've never had Raptor jumped by TRX, jumped by knowing that there will be another.
Right.
Raptor.
And then my thing will be when the Raptor R comes out, they're going to be like, oh, Raptor's finally competitive.
Right.
Why?
The most interesting
because of the fucking engine.
Yeah.
Like,
and
Raptor competes with the Ram on every level, minus the interior on the Ram is a little bit nicer because Ram interiors are nicer. And then the engine is fucking bananas.
See, I feel like that's and this is old guy me, that's actually a negative on the Ram because that supercharger whine is constant.
It is.
There is no speed at which that goes away.
Well, I've said this in a bunch of venues.
Always on.
I've said this in a bunch of venues. The 6.4 sounds better. It's a better sounding.
It does.
Package.
Definitely.
I love the supercharger one because it reminds me of Mad Max. However, the 6.4 sounds better.
Yeah, it does. It does. Is this? I'm drudging through my mind to remember it. Is this somebody we've had on the show, Chris?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
No?
You can ask me offline. I'm not trying to hide. And for the record, I'm not trying to hide anything. So
you're
good. But like, I'm not also trying
Jeff,
to
do me a favor.
Drudge it up for bullshit.
Punch it in the chat real quick on here, just so I know.
I'm not trying to drudge up like bullshit.
Because I'm trying to remember if there was like context behind this.
Hold on, I can't spell. There's no context behind it. It was literally like we disagreed about something.
Oh, he's been a guest. He's been on the show twice.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
Dude,
I send everybody. I'm so proud of you.
I send emails to lots of people.
Yeah,
you guys get so many people. I'm so proud of you.
We have a good time.
Well, that person thinks they're an off-roader now, and they are not.
Not yet. And
I'm not trying to. And I got to back that up too, because
They have the bug, but they're not fully in.
I try to I never want to gatekeep. I never want to close doors. I never want to do this, blah, 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 blah. So that's like, as soon as I said oh, they're not a real off-roader, like that sounds like a fucking douche thing to say. So I'm going to walk that back because I don't want to be that guy, but they may not have as much experience as this current group of people.
Well, I feel
maybe
like
that's a more fair statement. And I feel like I'm stirring shit up on the show right now, and that's not my goal. Your listeners, I apologize.
Oh, let's fucking have it.
I'm usually the happy-go-lucky, gets along with everyone guy, and I
normally,
person too.
Yeah,
there's literally this one interaction.
Okay. to counter this person's post and to kind of agree with you, I had the TRX for a week.
If you don't, I'll close this podcast down.
Okay. I had the TRX for a week. I did not take it off road. Like 99.9% of owners will use it for in their, time with the vehicle. And during that week, the most interesting thing about it was the engine.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a friend who had one, the friend we showed earlier who just got the
AJ, yeah.
Spectre.
Yep.
And he loved it. He knew he was buying it for a year to flip. And people were like, "Oh, are you going to overland that?" He goes, "No. Are you guys fucking crazy? Like, it has no payload. It like,
Yeah, the shocks are for jumping the truck, not loading the truck.
He made a great point about that. Yeah, he made a great point because people are like, "Oh, Raptor or TRX for overlanding." He's like, "Neither. The fuck are you talking about? Get a power wagon."
Exactly.
100%.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Or a Tremor.
Yeah,
we could go both.
Good.
Yeah, I almost come around on the Tremor a little bit since my video.
It's still big. It's so big.
I'm not going to change my opinion on the video, and I still get a few comments.
Dude, it's big here. I'm in truck country, and it's big. The Suburban is dwarfed by it.
It's not what you buy. None of those are what you buy, unless if you're only doing things out west.
Yes,
but the
or you
TRX
have to hop down to the farm on the weekend. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. The TRX is just silly and like. Okay, I had the F-Pace SVR the week before that.
It's out front right now.
Is it? Oh my god! I had the blue one that was floating around in the Northeast.
The reddish black one.
Oh my god, that thing was so much better than it had any right to be.
It's funny too because it is great, but if you could have experienced the version before, the exhaust was crazier.
Really?
They toned the exhaust down.
Dude, I have a tunnel, quarter mile from my house.
Yeah,
and I go through that tunnel, windows down, flooring every single car that comes through.
That thing used to be as soon as you lifted off throttle.
It still does that.
Not like it used to. It used to be bananas. And it's so much more. It's still great. The engine note is awesome, but it used to be like obnoxious in a really fun way.
It's still pretty obnoxious. But going through that tunnel, I was like, holy shit, I cannot believe that they sell this thing and that they sell something this loud. And the following week, I had the TRX and was like, I'm getting arrested. Like, there's a police station right there. I was like, oh, yes. No. But it's just madness. All right. So let's move on a little bit. So let's talk Maverick. I don't think we've talked Maverick on this show ever.
Really? We have. I drove it.
Yeah, but not with weak load.
The Maverick's awesome.
No.
Is it?
Yeah. The Maverick is fucking awesome. And I only drove the hybrid, and I really want to drive the EcoBoost.
So all-wheel drive hybrid or front-wheel drive hybrid?
I think it was because it was a higher trim hybrid. It was awesome. It was quicker than I thought it would be. Like the interior is inexpensive in a good way.
Does it feel cheap? Inexpensive and cheap being two different things.
I feel it's fair to say it feels inexpensive because cheap is derogatory.
Yep.
Inexpensive maybe hits the mark a bit better. Mm-hmm. It is inexpensive and you can tell it's inexpensive, but they've it looks like cool and like a 3D printed way. They did a really good job with the space.
Does it look very is it like Williamsburg, Brooklyn kind of? Like 3D printed,
no,
like Whole Foodsy.
No, it's not hipstery.
It's not hipstery.
Feels like something like Kia. It almost feels like something Kia would do in like a cool design way, and I mean that it positively, because Kia is doing awesome design things. I loved the truck. I threw my bike in the back with the strap over the bed. It's funny every time because I have a single mountain bike tailgate pad, not the big one. I have one for one bike. That's Sean. Bomber Strap loved it, and they said "Oh, we want to send you stuff." I'm like, "Hey man, I just like your fucking strap." But I've been posting it. I had a string of trucks that were getting excited. So every time I post a shot like this with any truck, people are like, "I don't understand why you mount your bike like that. Like that means the tailgate, there's no room in the bed." I'm like, "Bro, this is literally the best way to throw a mountain bike in the back of the truck, because the pad holds it in place so well. It takes 2 seconds to lift it over. There's a strap. You don't take wheels off. tailgate pads are the shit. Anytime I see, it's so funny to me where people are like, I can't. It's so weird to mount your bike like that. I'm like, I normally don't get to mount it like this. I prefer that because normally on my Montero I have a spare tire based rack, which is fine because I also don't take the front tire off. But I lift it up, different 3 straps, then a lock around it. Where this is like boom, 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 done. Tailgate pads are the best.
So to your point about like people saying, but you can't fit it in the bed. So Clapman commented on that picture, but it can't tow the space shuttle,
Yeah.
So does the Maverick, does it feel like a truck, or does it feel like a Ridgeline that's been kind of Fordized?
I mean, so it's funny because like
why
Ridgeline
did you say that?
Like a truck.
It's much smaller.
No, but a Ridgeline doesn't drive like a truck.
But the current Ridgeline feels more like a truck than the Maverick does. I never got the so I'm borrowing it for a week. I'm not going into it like, oh, I hope this feels like a truck. I just went into it like, what's this going to be like? And I really enjoyed it. I think it looks cool. I think it's in the aftermarket with wheels and tires. We saw some at SEMA, that were really cool. But like, I'd love to see one done up with more of a, not off-road, but just like some knobbies and, like a little bit tougher of a look than a street truck.
They're going to make one.
Right. And I actually liked there was that one that was like a Maverick ST that done at SEMA that I thought was super cool.
Oh, that was so cool.
With the white wheels but I would love to see someone do an off-road Maverick RS where they took Focus RS powertrain, put it in that, a little bit of a lift, like a rally truck. I think that would be the absolute shit. But
doesn't it have the 2.3?
Maybe I'm totally it has a 2. Well, fuck, I don't remember.
God damn, that is so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's super cool. I wish I wouldn't have done the blue in the grill surround, but that's minor quibbles. I think the wheels are dope as hell.
I thought it said touch hot dogs on the wheels.
If I ever get one, I'll have it so it says touch hot dogs.
Touch hot dogs.
Tucci hot rods. No, I think the Maverick was great. And then I recently also had the Santa Cruz.
Oh, interesting.
And it was also awesome. It's nicer inside than the Maverick, and it costs more.
That was my point. I like the Santa Cruz interior better than the Maverick, but it doesn't mean that the Maverick interior
what was the price
bad.
delta between the two you had? I mean, how much
Probably
was the Maverick?
10.
Yeah,
that's
$10,000. Yeah, it's a huge delta. But I put a bunch of my roof rack for the Montero arrived on a big pallet, and we chopped all the wood up, threw it in the Santa Cruz, and took it to the dump. I mean, I used it like a fucking truck, and it was awesome. But it is nicer inside. It's quicker than you think. The Maverick or the Santa Cruz actually got off the line really nicely, drove really well. They're both great. Yeah,
small trucks. We're back. We've come full circle.
Is this a Maverick? I'm sorry. I've been searching for off-roady Maverick since we started. This is a Maverick, isn't it?
That looks great. It is.
That's a Maverick, yeah.
It says Maverick on the real tailgate.
Holy shit, that's a Maverick.
Great. Yeah.
Wow.
You lose, half of the gas mileage by upsizing the tires. But...
Wow.
I don't care. It's amazing looking.
Yeah. And the fun thing is too, if you get the EcoBoost version with it, which I assume this is because it doesn't have the hybrid badge, and I assume maybe the dual exhaust, but there are so many tunes for that engine.
Oh, right? Yeah.
That you'll be ripping.
Dude, there's people doing like low 5, high 4, 0 to 60s already in those things.
The Maverick is fucking great.
Yeah.
Big fan.
It's really exciting to see that and see that it's selling so well that they can't keep them on the lots and like the lead times that long, because now they're talking about Ram 1200.
Wow. I would love to see something under the Tacoma.
Well, aren't we getting that
T100
battery electric thing?
That's I don't know.
Little FJ Cruiser
that's not under
battery.
Tacoma though. That's under 4Runner and under RAV4.
But I would love to see something from the Toyota camp that competes with this.
They don't need to.
That'd be really interesting.
Something
below Colorado would be kind of cool.
Colorado is still good, but it's time for Colorado to get a full overall.
Yeah, it needs it. The truck's fine, but yeah, it needs to evolve to match up. Get some of the elements from the Silverado interior, maybe. And
yeah,
you're getting Ranger, so we're
new Rangers coming. Yeah,
The Ranger's coming. Yeah, that'll be good. Ranger
Um,
Raptor.
What else? I mean, the Frontier is not really new, but it's very good.
It's great. Frontier is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
When I drove it, it immediately moved to like basically head of the class for me personally. It's like that and Ranger are right
Dude.
there.
So,
Same.
okay, it was great off road. The only thing that drove me crazy is because I was literally hopping between all of these different trucks.
Steering weight.
And the resolution of the cameras on the Frontier.
Oh, the cameras on
look like 1997, or it's so pixelated. And then when you hop into like the Broncos or the Wranglers, it's crystal clear. Like
the backup camera on the Frontier is laughably bad, but the seats are so good, and the rest of the truck is so good. I put like almost 800 miles on one,
and
awesome.
It
was
truck.
It was really genuinely.
It destroys the Tacoma.
Yeah, like we have no secrets here. I'm like an unashamed Toyota person,
right?
Like the Frontier is more comfortable. 95% is capable. The engine is 1,000 times better, and the transmission is 5,000 times better.
Right.
The
seating position is 1 billion times better.
Right.
Well, especially, it has seating,
especially for taller people.
Yeah,
I will point out. Like,
so on the flip side, I'm a
floor.
I'm not biased, but I really like Ford stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, fuck, I would buy this over a Ranger.
Yeah. So I remember Camille and I got in the Ranger when it debuted in 2017 or 2018 or something. And we looked at each other and it was just like, oh, this interior is 10 years old already.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. I still like the Ranger, and I would still take it over to Tacoma. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the non-T6 version of the Ranger. Mm-hmm. At the launch, though, I mean, we put it through its paces, and it was fucking great. I think I drove that with Bob Sorokonich, oddly enough, who's the new ES of Jalopnik.
Good luck, Bob.
Good luck, Bob. Yeah.
He's one of the nicest guys in the business. So, I mean,
yeah, this has been a week of automotive journalism shuffling with Bob taking over Jalopnik and Autopian going live.
Yes, I got an email today asking if I want those guys on my podcast. So, it's a funny segue, man. We are digressing tonight.
We've had
David twice.
We love
Jason. You've never had Jason?
No.
Jason,
we got to try to get Torch.
The best.
Earlier today, Sam said to me, you should probably do some kind of article thing where you talk about how kids fit in the car. I was like, will it baby exists? I don't there's no, you can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sam's doing my article post for 10 years ago.
Jason is amazing. Jason rules hard, and David is awesome too. It was funny to us when we saw them launch the Autopian.
Yeah, and you guys have Autotopia
2099. Yep. So we're like, oh, that's an interesting name.
Yeah.
Not that you didn't have it in development, because blah blah blah, and everybody involved is an incredibly wonderful person, including Bo Bachman, who's actually awesome. Bo's awesome. I met him a few times. And he's one of those guys who remembers everybody's names, which is an amazing skill to me, because I cannot do that. Like, he'll meet you once, he'll see you the next time, be like, hey Jeff, how's it going? How's so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fuck, that's really good.
Goddamn. Does he drink alcohol? Because
yes, because the first time I met him,
how is that possible?
I was in Vegas for SEMA. So I'm going to grab another beer while I tell this story.
All right. Oh God.
We're going deep tonight.
I'm about to go get another one too. This is like
there was part of me that was like, oh, I kind of hope it's quick tonight, but I was like, wait, it's Jeff. It won't be.
I have not had dinner.
No.
So I was in SEMA to cover like the Kia Forte coupe or some shit.
Ross just drove that.
No. I had the GT.
No, not Kia Forte coupe is
the coupe is out.
I know. It was a Kia Forte joke, guys. Sorry.
I think it was JMPR, which is a PR agency out here, was like, hey, do you want to interview Bo? They're doing some Hot Wheels cars. I was like, okay, sure. End of the day, on one of the SEMA days, I stroll over. Their trailer's parked outside of an area where they're like drifting and shit. I'm sure I've told this story on at least my podcast, but nobody, I think my audience is smaller than yours now. That's not a dig. I'm rebuilding. So Also, who knows if Shout Engine's numbers were real?
I don't think they were.
No.
So
Based on the swing we saw in the first 2 months.
No offense to Chris. He built a wonderful thing that's no longer a thing. So we're outside the trailer, and it's me, the PR person, Bo Bachman, and somebody else. And we're talking, questions. And it's like the end of the day. Bo's like, hey, man, you want a beer? I was like, yeah, of course I do. He's like, all right. He walks in the trailer, comes back with like a couple Coronas. Like, all right, sweet. We have a couple beers, a couple more questions. It's again, end of the day. But I'm sure Bo's had a long day. He's like, do you want another beer? It's like, yes. He's like, all right, let's go in the trailer. So we're walking up the trailer, and he's like, hey, just so you know, like, we bought this off Juan Pablo Montoya. This is his ex like race trailer, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, we did this. He's being real solemn about it. He opens the door and he goes, but now we're turning it into a nightclub. So I walk in. As I walk in, a guitarist for Guns N' Roses walks out.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what the fuck? And I walk in, and right to the right is a bar, and then the dude Mad Mike from Pimp My Car is like in the corner holding court. I was like, where the fuck am I? So talking to Bo a little bit, I'm like, all right, I gotta go. I gotta meet Kia for thing, dinner, and we're going out to a nightclub later, blah, blah, blah. So we go to dinner, we go to this like nightclub later. Bo is there hammered, and I guess he normally doesn't get hammered in public. He's hammered. And he's like telling me this part's going to be fucked up. He's telling me this story. I can tell it though, because he doesn't look bad. I look stupid. He's telling me this story, and he's there with this absolutely beautiful girl, this young, beautiful girl. I'm like, wow, good for Bo, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh yeah, this is my daughter. I'm like, oh, like, are we doing like weird winky cover stories? And I'm like, I didn't say it like that because I'm like, that's like what goes on your head. It didn't come out that way. I was like, oh yeah, like, okay, sure. He's like, no, this is, I married her mom. I adopted her. She's my beloved daughter. I was like, fuck. Okay. So he's like a really good guy. I'm like an absolute piece of shit. My mind went to the worst place. Like, holy fuck. And so we were drinking at his trailer. I'm setting up the story to paint him in a continual good light. And I'm an actual asshole. And then I saw him again at the club where he was like fucking where one of his handlers was like, okay, buddy, time to go. And like, he didn't do anything embarrassing. He just was intoxicated in Vegas. Like he didn't do any, he'd never slipped. He never fell.
It's the constant state of the city.
Just drunk. Yeah. And the guy's like, hey man, probably time to go. And Bo's like, sure thing. So like maybe a year later or half a year later, I had my beer show that didn't really go anywhere. In one of the episodes, we went to San Diego, and we shot at this because the whole thing with the beer show is I didn't want to just do breweries. I wanted to do like all aspects of beer. So we did a San Diego episode where we went to the offices of Tap Hunter, and then we went out. And then the thing we finished on was inland San Diego, like way inland. These people owned a bison farm and a hop farm. And we're talking to them, and I noticed there's these like old rusted derelict Fords on the property, and the guy is wearing a Hawaiian shirt with Fords on. I was like, and in between takes, I was like, hey man, what's up with all the car shit? It's like, oh my, his wife is like, oh, because it's her family's farm, not the husband's farm. He's like, oh my uncle's or my great uncle started owns one of the largest Ford dealerships. I'm like, Galpin? She's like, God. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I know Bo. She's like, you know my uncle Bo? I'm like, yes. So she fucking texts him, and she's like, I'm here with this dude who says he knows you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I know that guy. So
got called out.
We wrap the episode. We let it's me, and the husband and wife production team who I'm friends with. We hired a sound and a second camera. We like cut them because we're done. So we stuck around, and we had like a beef jerky on their bison farm, and he homebrewed some beer. So we tried some beer. So then fast forward a couple of months to the LA Auto Show. Bo is in a suit with all his handlers walking through, and he sees me, and I just like give a little, wave. He's like, Jeff, what's up, man? What'd you think of that? I can't remember the name of the farm, but it like had like a name of a ranch, like the 3B star. It had a name, like there were B's in it because it was Bachman. He's like, what'd you think of the 3B ranch? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I mean, it was awesome, man. The homebrew beer. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, remember that night in Vegas? I'm like, I do. Like, oh, he
that's amazing.
Didn't forget anything.
Holy shit.
He knew my name. He knew all the shit. There wasn't someone in his ear. It was so impressive to me because I can't do that. When someone can do something you can't do, but when something can do something you can't do on a physical level, you're like, oh, fuck that good person. But when
100%.
do something you can't do on a mental level, you're like, fuck, wow, impressive. So Bo Bachman is awesome.
The real deal.
Darby Ranch.
That's what it is.
Darby Ranch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you
I found
Google
the
it?
episode of Beer Snob.
Oh my
Beer
God.
Snob. That's what it was called. Wow. All right. So Bachman.
Give me enough time, I
Darby
can
Ranch.
probably Google it. Yeah.
Yes. So those episodes actually do exist on YouTube. We never knew how to pitch the show. I thought it was kind of fun and whatever. Like
It was fun. I don't even like beer and I'd watch it.
yeah, that was the comment, and that I wish you could help me sell it. So
Yeah.
I don't know who
I
pitched
feel
it to
like
now,
it was
but-
around at the right time too. That was like
it
the
was. That's
IPA
the
boom.
thing.
Yeah. Every minute now it's like IPAs and people are like, it tastes like pee.
Craft beer was at its peak. So
Yeah.
if
15,
we knew how
16?
to pitch and sell, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know the fucking years.
He's dead on. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Selling gaskets to brewers at the time.
6
Can
and 7
confirm.
years ago are all the dates and all the videos.
And I'm old. Yeah, it was all pre-kid, that's for sure. Or actually, she might have been pregnant. Fuck. Wait, you said 16? No.
This is like 15,
Sounds like a
16.
baby.
You had a kid at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was born in 2015.
Yeah. Your
Oh.
kid's almost the same age as one of my kids. So I know that.
July
Yeah.
2015. No,
Yeah.
I had a child and I went off and shot a beer show because I'm a fucking selfish
Because that's what
asshole
you do.
for no money.
See,
Oh,
Ross,
man.
I told you were supposed to go to Moab. This is what people do.
Let's not talk about
Live
that.
your life.
Let's not
Living
talk
my
about
life.
that.
Living my life.
Let's not talk about that.
Oh.
God. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think we've actually talked about it on the show, but child is inbound. First child is inbound.
Yeah,
There
we
you go.
that
Off the
was,
road exclusive.
well,
Do
I
you know
assumed
what
it
it
was
is?
okay after Sam was
Yep.
posting photos for over the weekend. I figured
Yeah,
I was
now-
like,
now
now,
that
it's out. Like,
Oh, now that's on
Are you
social
gonna
media.
find out what it is?
We're not. We're playing roulette. So painted.
there are only
the
two options.
Nursery bright yellow and fucking let it fly. Throw some McLaren gear on the kid and call it.
I have. Okay, how's this? This is a good way to close a podcast. I have some unsolicited data.
Okay, I'll take any I can.
Chris
get.
can back me up. All right, so because we're going way too long here for you guys, and I actually just got a text from my wife.
So get the
So this is going to sound weird and harsh, but I think Chris will understand what I'm saying. I've said this to other dads, and they agree with me.
Okay.
When the baby is first born, the mom will usually, it's not always the case, but oftentimes the mom bonds with it right away because she was carrying it for 9 months, hopefully 9 months, sometimes early. My daughter came a month early. So for you think you should immediately love it, and that might not happen.
Mhm.
And then you get into your own head about what the fuck is wrong with me.
Right.
Nothing is wrong with you. This happens to almost every dad. And then all of a sudden there's a point when the child is less of a screaming, why can't I sleep? What the fuck happened in my life? Why did I do this moment?
And
Around the
because-
3-month window.
Maybe later.
Maybe
Something,
later.
it depends on the child, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something clicks and you go, fuck, okay, there we go. So, and I'm not saying this is going to happen to you,
Mhm.
but if it does, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yep.
This echoes
Don't worry about it.
very closely with what Zach Bowman has told me. So there's a through line here.
He's a sage. He is a poet. So
Isn't he?
he probably said it way better than I did.
It was fairly eloquent.
Yes, he's the rose of the South.
Yeah.
The fact that he and Sam Smith were like hanging out last week, and I was like, God damn it! You have
No, they're boys.
words.
Yeah.
They are boys. So they're literally my two favorite writers. If you added in
Yep.
Brendan McAleer with some Canadian wisdom,
Yep.
you have the triumvirate of the best, in
Yep.
my opinion, in the game outside of some British people.
Smith also has kids though, so theoretically he would echo the same sentiment.
And he would say it in a different way, just as pretty, if not prettier than Bowman,
Yes.
even though Bowman he's
Pretty
a
good.
painter with words.
Yeah.
So that's my little
Okay.
bit of fatherly advice. If it doesn't connect right away, don't worry.
It's not.
There's nothing wrong with you. That's how dad life goes. And then all of a sudden, you're like, this is the greatest thing in the world, and I will fucking murder anybody who comes.
Don't
I
look
will-
at it.
I will
Yeah.
fucking
Okay.
metal Gear Solid asses out of existence.
Allegedly.
So-
This is much appreciated, and
So
Ross, reassures much of my nerves. So.
real quick, just I want to make one clarifying point.
Mhm.
He got to the end of that statement, and you were the only one who said allegedly, because for him and me, it's not allegedly.
It's not allegedly.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
you'll
Check
get
back
to
in a
that
few
switch.
months.
Like,
And I've only had one. So, and Chris has more experience. I've only had one. And this
Yep.
is my experience with the one. It was like, it was so tough. And like, I didn't not love my child. Like, that's an insane statement to say, but like something was missing. Something wasn't connecting. And it's not postpartum, because that's different. That's a female thing that they go through, and it's important and serious, and it needs to be supported. But for the guys, there's no one telling you as a dad, like, shit's not going to click right away.
Yeah.
Totally
it
fine.
is an adjustment.
Happens to everyone.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good to know that there are guys out there that have gone through what are probably, aside from like, the actual taking care of another life in that capacity type thing, that have experienced that psychological stress, which is a worry for someone.
And that's the key.
Has yet to go through it.
That's the key. That's actually that's a good way to say it. The psychological side of it, no guy talks about. So
Right.
I'm happy to talk about it, because no guy talked about it.
Taking you off on it.
Fucking, it's a roller coaster, and it's amazing, and you're gonna be a great dad, and it's gonna be awesome. So cheers to that.
Appreciate it.
The fun parts are when you're laughing so hard when something has either puked or just destroyed a diaper on you. Like, and you're like, this is the filthiest I've ever been. And it's also sometimes the funniest moments.
Yeah, we're gonna test how stain resistant.
I mean, Chris and I are going to differ on that point, but enjoy your time.
There's that when you add more kids to it, it gets funnier, Jeff.
Your sanity just goes that much further off, and it's like, well, better laugh it off.
Sweet.
My daughter puked in her car seat once in an airplane as we touched down.
Oh,
I mean, better than when you took off.
Yeah, well, but not better if it was mid-flight, because we could have cleaned it. Like, we literally can't help her.
yeah.
It's like, hey, seatbelts on. I can't. You're fucking on your own right now.
Can't go get paper towels. You can't get wipes. You can't get anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what everybody says too. Wipes. Buy wipes. Just keep buying wipes.
Yeah.
No, you'll have them on subscription. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
They'll be wipes forever, dude.
For the first time I used Amazon subscription.
There you go. It's good use for it.
Yep.
Wipes and diapers.
Wipes and diapers.
Sweet.
Cool.
You can rate, review our show on Apple Podcasts. You rate, review Jeff's show too. Why not?
Yeah.
Sure.
You can like and subscribe on YouTube. Every now and then people do it, and it makes me laugh. Freaking YouTube. I hate it. Follow Jeff. It's at Hooniverse Jeff, and obviously the Hooniverse podcast, Hooniverse.com, the Hooniverse on Twitter, the Real Hooniverse on Instagram. Ross is No Not Like the One from Friends. I'm at Overlanding Dad, and you can read what we write on Hooniverse, UTV Driver, ATV Rider, Everyday Driver, and U.S. News and World Report. And that's it.
Impressive. Oh, and my reviews on AutoTrader. I should plug that. That's like my day job now.
Your day job's kind of important. So.
Day job's getting in the way, man. Sweet.
Yeah.
We're done. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Jeff.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always a pleasure.
Check back in 6 months.
Oh, we'll make it sooner.